Chapter 553, Reminder for Li Ronghua to go to Dr. Wang's house _2. Yes. Annie said excitedly, Dear, look at my face. Aren't there fewer wrinkles? That was when Annie noticed Caroline's face. It wasn't clear if it was an illusion, but upon closer inspection, it seemed like there were indeed fewer wrinkles on Caroline's face. Could it be that skincare products from China really were that miraculous? Annie continued, Caroline, have you been using any other skincare products during this period? Perhaps this was the effect of some other skincare products. No. Caroline shook her head. I have only been using the anti-wrinkle cream during this period. The anti-wrinkle cream from the brand Eye Skin Jade is truly exceptional. Could you ask Emily to buy a few more bottles from her friend? To avoid confusion, Caroline specifically stopped using other skincare products. It was not easy finding an effective skincare product, so she was quite excited at this time, wanting to buy several bottles of anti-wrinkle cream immediately, as it made her feel secure. Annie frowned slightly and said, Dear, don't get too excited. Some skincare products only show their real efficacy in the long run. You have only been using it for a few days. A backward place like China, how could there possibly be such a fantastic wrinkle cream? When it came to skincare products, sometimes they worked well initially but became less effective later on or even produced side effects. Caroline calmed down a bit because what Annie said made sense. She seemed to have celebrated a bit too soon. Then I shall continue using it for a while. Caroline added. Annie nodded. Usually you'll see the effects after using it for a month. Caroline, if you feel uncomfortable, remember to go to the hospital immediately. This isn't a joking matter. Caroline nodded. Yes, I understand. Jinghua Village, China. After Anai Yang got home, Yang Xiaowan told her, a man introducing himself as Dr. Wang had come looking for her. Dr. Wang. Anai Yang thought for a while, then said, Is he an old man with white hair and a white beard? Yes, it's him, Yang Xiaowan said, but there was also an old man with him. He said he had something to discuss with you, but he didn't say what it was. If Dr. Wang was seeking her out, he likely wanted to discuss medical issues. Anai Yang said, He'll go see him tomorrow then. Since she was back from M country, she should pay Dr. Wang a visit. Yang Xiaowan said, I delivered the message. Yang, you'll head back to work now. Auntie Yang, wait a moment. Anai Yang called out to the departing figure of Yang Xiaowan. Yang Xiaowan asked, Yang, is there anything else? Anai Yang took out over a dozen beautiful small gift boxes from her suitcase and handed them to Yang Xiaowan. Auntie Yang, these are presents that I brought back from M country for you and everyone else. Could you help me distribute them? There were only 12 workers temporarily handling production in the skincare workshop. Although it was a small team, their output was not low, sufficient to supply 3 retail stores. After all, skincare products only required small bottles. Yang Xiaowan was slightly embarrassed. Yang, you're too courteous. Even when you were traveling such a long distance, you still thought about getting us presents. Anai Yang was truly a good boss. Not only did she offer a high salary, she also gave bonuses during holidays. Even when she had gone to M country, she did not forget about them. In this era, finding a good boss was truly hard. Some jobs even required nepotistic connections to secure. Anai Yang laughed. It's not anything expensive as long as you don't mind. We don't mind at all. Why would we mind? Yang Xiaowan went to the workshop and distributed the gifts Anai Yang had sent. Let's see what's inside. Whatever Yang gave is sure to be good. This is real imported stuff. Wow. It's a watch. A voice filled with joy sounded from the crowd. A lovely lattice watch, small and delicate strap, and the watch face decorated with tiny diamonds which shimmered under the light, emitting a rainbow glow. In this era, a watch was a rare thing. Only those from well-off families would buy one, usually as part of a wedding ceremony. Even though they knew that whatever Anai Yang gave would not be disappointing, who could have imagined that Anai Yang would give each person a wristwatch? I have seen this watch in the international market. It costs more than 200 yuan. And it can only be bought with foreign exchange coupons. Chapter 554, Reminder for Li Ronghua to go to Dr. Wang's house _3. Yang is so generous. Last month my younger brother's wife bought a shabby watch for a few dozen yuan and bragged about it in front of me for ages. Just wait until I go back home with my holiday souvenirs and give her a taste of her own medicine. How lucky is it that our village has such a little blessing like Yang? Absolutely. The neighboring villages are green with envy. I heard from the village chief that many people are eager to move to our village. Dreaming about taking Yang away from us? No chance. Li Ronghua heard about Ni Yang's return when it was already past 5 in the late afternoon. She rushed to the Ni family's house immediately. Yang, did you bring the Parker pen for me? She had planned to surprise her boyfriend, so she certainly couldn't let him down. Although Li Ronghua was quite fiery, she was truly good to her boyfriend and she was willing to give everything for him. Yes, I did. Ni Yang nodded, taking out the pen case from her bag and handing it to Li Ronghua. Li Ronghua threw her arms around Ni Yang in excitement. Yang, thank you so much. You're welcome. Ni Yang, whose ears still echoed with the conversation she had overheard at the airport, then added, Sister Ronghua, have you ever visited your boyfriend's house? I have, Li Ronghua nodded. I've been there many times. What do you think of your boyfriend's parents? Ni Yang continued to ask. They're quite nice. Li Ronghua responded happily, my boyfriend's parents are factory workers and their living conditions are pretty decent. Apart from my boyfriend, they also have a daughter who is in high school. Ni Yang nodded slightly. Oh, are you planning to visit your boyfriend's house again soon? The last time at the airport, she had vaguely heard an aunt saying that a girl who had been courting her son was going to visit their home next month. At these words, Li Ronghua blushed and replied, Yes, I'm going there early next month. Ni Yang's heart thumped. Could it really be that the pursuing girl who was being mentioned is Li Ronghua? As a friend and superior of Li Ronghua, Ni Yang couldn't just stand by and watch Li Ronghua jump into the fire. That family, including Li Ronghua's boyfriend, didn't value Li Ronghua at all. So, Ni Yang then told Li Ronghua about the conversation she overheard at the airport. Hearing this, Li Ronghua chuckled, Yang, don't worry. My boyfriend's mother is a very good person, she would never say that. Did you buy your boyfriend a pair of sneakers for 68 yuan? Ni Yang remembered that the aunt at the airport had bragged about it. I did. But, I am not the only one who bought that brand of sneakers for my boyfriend, it could be someone else. Li Ronghua had been dating her boyfriend for 3 years. She had full trust in him. When faced with this situation, the first thing she thought of was pure coincidence. If her boyfriend would deceive her, then there wouldn't be any good men left in this world. Ni Yang gave her advices to this point and felt like it is better not to say too much. Sister Ronghua, there are a lot of hypocritical people around pretending to be good people. You must be vigilant and must not be deceived. You must have spent quite a lot on your boyfriend over the years, right? Li Ronghua then responded, It's all my own will. My boyfriend is a man of strong self-esteem, he never actively asks for anything from me, and I believe he will definitely achieve greatness in the future. Sister Ronghua, Li Ronghua laughed and interrupted Yang, I know you're worried about me. I can assure you that my boyfriend is definitely not like that. And besides, do I look easy to scam? Ni Yang smiled faintly, as long as you are sure, Sister Ronghua. Yang, thank you for bringing me the pen. By the way, is 200 yuan enough for that pen? How much do I owe you? Li Ronghua is considerate and sensible as well. The Parker pen costs 240 yuan. Li Ronghua only gave 200. Ni Yang was not a small-minded person and laughed as she said, It's enough, isn't 200 yuan enough to buy a pen? Oh, and Sister Ronghua, here's a gift I brought for you from the M country. Ni Yang picked up a small gift box and handed it to Li Ronghua. Li Ronghua was surprised and said, Yang, you even brought me a gift? Yes. Ni Yang nodded, Oh, and this is for Gooden and this is for Changshu. Li Changshu is Gooden's older brother who had previously lent study materials to Ni Yang. Chapter 555. Reminder for Li Ronghua to go to Dr. Wang's house _4. Yang, you're really being too polite. Li Ronghua, somewhat embarrassed, received the 3 little boxes that Ni Yang handed to her. Having grown up so much now, this is the first time Li Ronghua had ever received a gift and the feeling was quite peculiar. Ni Yang laughed and said, No need to be so polite, it's not anything of high value. Li Ronghua returned home with her things. After getting home, she was so eager that she immediately opened the gift box from Ni Yang. Inside was a very nice-looking watch. Li Ronghua happily put it on. When Gooden and Li Changshu returned home, Li Ronghua tossed the 2 gift boxes at them. Here, these are from Yang. Li Changshu managed to remain calm. Gooden jumped with joy, Sister Ni Yang is back. Really? Sister. You better not be fooling me. Usually, Gooden would just call Li Ronghua by her name, but today, amazingly, he called Li Ronghua sister. Li Ronghua laughed and said, Am I your real sister or is Yang? If people didn't know, they'd think Yang was your real sister. Gooden didn't even have time to unwrap the gift. He just ran outside, heading straight for the Ni family's courtyard. Sister Ni Yang. Gooden. Ni Yang pulled aside the door curtain and came out. Gooden rushed straight towards her and hugged Enai Yang. Sister Enai Yang, I missed you so much. Tweet. Just at that moment, a dark shadow swooped down and pecked a large bite on Gooden's face. Bad duo. Stinky duo. Why did you peck me? Gooden let go of Enai Yang and attempted to hit duo, but couldn't reach him because duo flew too high. Gooden stopped bothering with duo, the evil bird, proceeded to walk to Enai Yang's side and hugged Enai Yang again. Sister Enai Yang, when did you come back? Just as he finished his sentence, duo swooped down again and pecked Gooden's face once more. Stinky duo. What's wrong with hugging Sister Enai Yang? Tweet. Duo pecked once again. Having no choice, Gooden had to let go of Enai Yang, only then did duo stop. Enai Yang could barely hold back her smile. In fact, she had noticed that apart from Emo Chishin, duo would not spare any male who approached her, even if they were just boys. Duo would just attack. Also, duo played only with girls. If a boy dared to tease it or feed it, duo would just peck them without hesitation. This isn't just any evil bird. This is clearly a perverted bird. Sister Enai Yang, you haven't told me when you got back. This time, Gooden wisely refrained from hugging Enai Yang again. Enai Yang smiled and replied, I got home around 7 this morning. Gooden hit his head with regret. Sister Enai Yang, I can't believe I didn't know you came back so early. By the way, does Debeo know you're back? I suppose he doesn't. Gooden laughed and said, That's good, luckily I'm not the last one to know about your return. Oh, Sister Enai Yang, thanks for the gift from M Country, I really loved it. Even though he didn't know what gift Enai Yang had prepared for him, as long as it came from her, he would love it very much. Even if it's a heap of dog poop. I'm glad you like it. Enai Yang reached out and gently touched his head. Where's Yunyun? Didn't she come back with you? Gooden asked next. Yunyun is in the inner room. Then I'll go play with Yunyun. Go ahead. Enai Yang nodded. It was already past 5 at this time, so Enai Yang started preparing dinner. She hadn't eaten Chinese food for a long while and she planned to fully enjoy a big meal tonight. She'd start with boiled meat, then squirrel fish, mapo tofu, braised pork belly, tomato stew with beef brisket, fried shrimp with green peas, sour and spicy ear mushrooms and vegetable tofu soup. Although there are only 3 adults and a child to serve, Enai Yang believed they could definitely finish it all. In fact, everything happened exactly as Enai Yang predicted. At dinner time, Enai Chingue was thrilled. Yang, you're finally back. You have no idea how long it's been since I last enjoyed such delicious food. Enai Yang laughed and said, Well, then you should eat a lot tonight. Of course. Enai Chingue then asked, How's M Country, Yang? Is it any different from here? Enai Tsuehua replied, Actually, it's not that special. There's loads of sea. Also, the people there are quite open-minded. You can see young girls on the street wearing ultra-short skirts, showing off their long legs. Also, some people there are extremely dark-skinned while others are extremely white. According to Yang, the dark-skinned people have a particular low status. Chapter 556. Reminder for Li Ronghua to go to Dr. Wang's house _5. Enai Chingue listened very seriously, also filled with yearning. She wondered when her daughter could take her abroad for a trip. Unfortunately, this was a wish that could never be fulfilled. Enai Tsuehua continued, We took a lot of photos. After dinner, Sister Chingue, you can come to my room to look at them. Sure. Enai Chingue nodded eagerly. Despite planning to watch TV in Enai Quihua's room after dinner, Enai Chingue voluntarily washed the dishes. Enai Yang had worked hard to cook the meal, it was only right that she cleaned up. Having washed the dishes, Enai Chingue went to Enai Quihua's room, where Enai Tsuehua showed her the photos they had taken in M Country. Oh my, these foreigners are so open-minded. There are so many people on the beach and they just dress like this? Yes, there are even more revealing outfits. Ha, Xiaomo went with you to M Country too? Enai Chingue noticed a photo of Emo Chishin and Enai Yang posing together in front of a castle. Enai Tsuehua shook her head. Xiaomo didn't go with us. He works in M Country. Enai Chingue continued to exclaim, Yang's mom, just look at Xiaomo and Yang together. They are such a perfect match, looking just like a wedding portrait. They are even more charming than the movie stars on television. You not only gave birth to a good daughter but also found a great son-in-law. Enai Chingue truly envied Enai Tsuehua, and at the same time she felt fortunate to have met Enai Yang and her mother on the train that day. Otherwise, her life would have been different. When Enai Chingue was about to go to bed, Enai Tsuehua handed her a gift box. Sister Chingue, this is a gift Yang bought for you. Yang Yang is too polite, she brought me a gift. Sister Qingge, we are indebted to you for helping us settle in Beijing. Anai Tsuehua held Anai Chenggui's hand. If they hadn't met Anai Chenggui on the train, they would have been homeless when they first arrived in Beijing. Anai Chenggui replied, Yang Yang's mother, it's because you two are good people that people accepted you so quickly. Many people from out of town wanted to settle down in Jinghua village, but they all failed. After a pause, Anai Chenggui added, Yang Yang is really a good child. If she were my daughter, I'd wake up from my dreams laughing. Anai Tsuehua continued, Sister Chenggui Chunhua married and lives so far away. Haven't you ever thought about finding someone? At your age you could still have another child. Having lived with Anai Chenggui for more than a year, Anai Tsuehua had come to regard her as her own sister. Seeing Anai Chenggui so lonely truly pained Anai Tsuehua. As a single mother herself, she understood that Anai Chenggui had not had it easy, and yet Anai Chenggui was only 46 years old. What would she do when she grew old if she continued to live alone? Although society was conservative in those days, there were still many women who remarried. Anai Chenggui sighed, finding someone isn't so simple. If you meet someone unsuitable, you are better off alone. After her husband's death, she was introduced to several men, none of whom were suitable. Gradually, Anai Chenggui stopped thinking about these things. With Anai Tsuehua and Anai Yang at home, she did not feel lonely. But after they went away, Anai Chenggui struggled to adapt. Returning to an empty home and seeing the deserted yard made her very sad and filled her with an indescribable grief. Perhaps she really needed to find someone to share her life with. What about you? Yang Yang's mom? You are several years younger than I am. Haven't you thought about finding someone too? Is it because Yang Yang disagrees? Anai Chenggui inquired. Anai Yang didn't look like someone unreasonable. Anai Tsuehua replied, It's not that Yang Yang disagrees. I just don't want to find someone right now. Little Yun Yun is still very young, and Yang Yang hasn't stabilized her career yet. It's not the right time to think about these things. Anai Chenggui nodded, that makes sense. But if you meet someone suitable you could consider it. Anai Tsuehua smiled, well see. Anai Chenggui then said, okay then I won't disturb you and little Yun Yun's sleep. And going back to my room. Thank you for Yang Yang's gift. And thank her for always remembering her aunt. The familial love her daughter never made her feel was embodied by Anai Yang. Anai Tsuehua escorted Anai Chenggui to the door. Sister Chenggui, listen to what you're saying. Aren't we sisters now? It's only right for Yang Yang to respect you. Chapter 557. Reminder for Li Ronghua to go to Dr. Wang's house _6. After Chenggui went back home, he unwrapped the gift to find inside a very soft silk scarf, along with a very fashionable dress. The logo on the dress consisted of 2 CS back-to-back. Chenggui had seen this type of dress in the upscale clothing store in town, but she didn't dare buy it as it cost 300 yuan. She remembered that she pointed out the dress when she saw it, but didn't expect Anai Yang not only remembered it but also bought it for her. Anai Yang even treated her better than her own daughter. The next day Anai Yang made a trip to the store. She did not go empty-handed, but brought with her the gifts she brought back from M country. Everyone was curious to know what M country was like, and Anai Yang found no annoyance in explaining it in detail. After Anai Yang left, everyone unwrapped the gifts and discovered a very exquisite watch inside. They were all extremely thrilled. The watch alone cost over 200 yuan, which was equivalent to almost half a year's wages for everyone. Upon leaving the store, Anai Yang proceeded to visit Dr. Wang Yili. As luck would have it, when she arrived, Dr. Wang wasn't home, so Anai Yang took out a pen from her pocket and left a note on the door of Wang Yili's house. Anai Yang was biking down the shady lane, her hair fluttering in the breeze, when a young couple passed by her. The boy glanced back at Anai Yang, his heartbeat losing its rhythm momentarily. After so many days, it seemed Anai Yang had become even more beautiful. Squad leader A, what are you looking at? Inquired the girl next to him out of curiosity. This sight seemed to overlap with a similar sight from a year ago, making Li Wei feel faintly bewildered. Nothing, Li Wei turns his head back around. So, squad leader, are you really planning on retaking the year? Followed up the girl. Yes, Li Wei nodded his head. Holding back excitement, the girl responded, Squad leader, you're not like me. With your grades, you could easily get into a regular university, isn't it a shame to retake the year? The girl named Zhang Meng was Li Wei's classmate. She ended up with a score of less than 300 on the college entrance exam, which couldn't even get her into a community college, hence her choice to retake the year. Li Wei, on the other hand, scored over 500. Why would anyone scoring over 500 possibly choose to retake the year out of nowhere? He must be doing it for her, she thought. With this thought, Zhang Meng felt a sweet sensation in her heart. Li Wei continued, well, aren't you also retaking the year? We can keep each other company. What she had been contemplating was one matter, but Li Wei's own admission was something else entirely. Zhang Meng looked at Li Wei with deep emotion. Squad leader? Li Wei smiled. Why are you looking at me like that? You're just too good to be true, replied Zhang Meng. By the way, do your parents support your decision to retake the year? Li Wei nodded. They don't have any objections. Your parents are really good people. Zhang Meng continued. So, what schools are you thinking of applying to next year, squad leader? I haven't decided yet. Li Wei replied. Squad leader, with your grades, I'm sure you'll get into a top-tier 985 school, Zhang Meng stated confidently. Li Wei responded, you'd better work hard too. Sure. Zhang Meng nodded solemnly. She was determined not to let Li Wei down. Ai Yang eventually made her way to the Mo family villa by bike. She had brought back presents for the elderly Mr. and Mrs. Mo, from the USA which she had come to deliver. The door was answered by the old butler of the Mo family who warmly greeted Ai Yang. Miss Ai has arrived. Please come in. Ai Yang then asked, are Butler Missouri and Madame Mo at home? Chapter 558, The Poisoning is Serious, Dr. Wang comes to find _1 The old butler continued, the master and madam had to step out for a bit. But they should be back soon, Miss Ai, please come in and sit. Okay. Ai Yang nodded and followed the old butler inside. As soon as Ai Yang sat down in the living room, servants brought tea and snacks, worried about neglecting her. You see, Ai Yang was someone held very dear by the master and madam. Sister Ping Ping isn't home either? Ai Yang looked back at the old butler. The old butler replied, Miss Ping Ping has gone to work. Oh. Ai Yang nodded slightly. Just then, footsteps were heard coming from the spiral staircase. A man and a woman descended from upstairs. The man was Mo Baichuan. The woman looked to be around 23 or 4. She wore a purple princess dress, a matching hat, and the same colored eyeshadow. She was very modish. Her name was Xiao Yingying, Mo Baichuan's cousin. Mo Baichuan saw Ai Yang at first glance with a complex look in his eyes. Ai Yang claimed again and again she liked Mo Qishan, yet Mo Qishan wasn't home. So why did she come to the Mo family? The crucial point was, today even the old Mr. Mo and Mrs. Mo weren't home. Although Ai Yang didn't say a word about the wedding from beginning to end, Mo Baichuan felt like it was somehow related to her. Cousin, you have a guest? Yingying didn't want anyone to steal her thunder, so she wasn't fond of any girl prettier than her. Mo Baichuan lightly hummed in acknowledgement. Yingying continued, who is she? How come I've never seen her before? An insignificant person. Shall we go up and say hi? Before Mo Baichuan could respond, Yingying walked straight up to Ai Yang. Butler Li, our family has a guest, won't you introduce me? Butler Li smiled and replied, Miss Xiao, this is Ai Yang, young Master SX's girlfriend. Miss Ai, this is Miss Xiao Yingying, the cousin of young Master Baichuan. So, she was that loser's girlfriend. What good does being good-looking do? In the end, she was still entangled with a loser. Hearing this, Xiao Yingying's eyes were filled with disdain. Ai Yang greeted her with a smile. Miss Xiao. Xiao Yingying continued, Miss Ai is so pretty, may I ask what she works as? Self-employed. Ai Yang replied unfetteredly. Xiao Yingying laughed, well, you're a perfect match for Uncle Mo 6 then. A self-employed woman and a loser, isn't that the perfect match? Ai Yang seemed not to notice the contempt in Xiao Yingying's eyes and casually responded, thank you. Xiao Yingying saw no point in wasting time on a self-employed woman and turned to Mo Baichuan. Let's go, cousin. Weren't you going to take me out for good food in Beijing? Mo Baichuan nodded his head. With that, Xiao Yingying looked back at Ai Yang. Would Miss Ai like to join us? Mo Baichuan narrowed his eyes slightly. Would Ai Yang pass up this opportunity to be alone with him? Definitely not. Just when Mo Baichuan was sure that Ai Yang would accompany them, Ai Yang spoke with a charming smile. Miss Xiao, you're too kind. I won't go. I wish you and my nephew a pleasant meal. Not go? Ai Yang is actually not going. Not only was Ai Yang not going, but she also directly called him nephew. At this point, was she still trying to go against the flow? Xiao Yingying continued, since Miss Ai isn't going, I guess I'll take my leave with cousin. Ai Yang nodded slightly. Outside, Xiao Yingying pulled Mo Baichuan's arm. Cousin, where are you taking me to eat? Let's have Japanese food. Mo Baichuan said. Okay. Xiao Yingying nodded. Once they were at the Japanese restaurant, Xiao Yingying enthusiastically poured Mo Baichuan some water. Cousin, you should know why I came back from M country to find you, right? Why? Mo Baichuan asked, drinking the water. Cousin, don't you really know? I don't know. Mo Baichuan's face was devoid of any expression. The men of the Mo family all shared a similar trait. They seldom smiled or spoke. Xiao Yingying complained, Cousin, you're too boring. Even if you don't know, wouldn't you want to ask why I came back? I don't want to know. Xiao Yingying rolled her eyes. Cousin, are you really not curious at all? Mo Baichuan found no need to converse any further. Xiao Yingying continued, Cousin, I'm just going to tell you. I came back for Mr. Mog. So you must help me. Chapter 559. The poisoning is very severe, Dr. Wang comes to find _2. Mr. Mog's name carries great weight in China, and he's even more desirable in the upper echelons of society. Regrettably, Mr. Mog never shows his face and doesn't accept any family's overtures. However, not long ago Mr. Mog amazingly took the initiative to send a birthday gift to Mrs. Mo. So, speculation is rampant outside that Mr. Mog definitely has a deep friendship with the Mo family. Also, for this reason, the Mo family's status in Beijing has been rising along with the tide. Even despite the big incident at the wedding, no one dared to propagate it, fearing they might accidentally offend Mr. Mog. Baichuan Mo frowned slightly. What does this have to do with me? It has a lot to do with you. Yingying Xiao continued, Cousin, don't you plan to introduce me to Mr. Mog? As the saying goes, don't let the water of your own mill flow into others' fields. Baichuan Mo answered, baffled, I don't even know Mr. Mog, how can I introduce you to him? Yingying Xiao laughed, Cousin, stop pretending, I know you must know Mr. Mog. I know Mr. Mog is discreet and mysterious, and he doesn't want more people to know his identity, so rest assured, I promise I won't tell anyone about this. How could Baichuan Mo not know Mr. Mog? If Baichuan Mo didn't know Mr. Mog, then Mr. Mog wouldn't possibly have sent a birthday gift to Mrs. Mo. Mr. Mog made his fortune in F country, and coincidentally, Baichuan Mo studied there for 4 years. When Yingying Xiao heard that Mr. Mog had sent Mrs. Mo a birthday gift, she couldn't wait to come back from abroad. Should she be so lucky as to catch Mr. Mog's eye, that would be the greatest honor. Just as Baichuan Mo and Mr. Mog happened to be good friends, Baichuan Mo could easily introduce Mr. Mog with just a few words. Baichuan Mo stated, I really don't know Mr. Mog. Cousin. Yingying Xiao pulled on Baichuan Mo's arm, beginning to act spoiled. Baichuan Mo sighed, Yingying, stop it. I really don't know Mr. Mog. I don't even know what Mog looks like. Cousin? Baichuan Mo slowly pushed away Yingying Xiao's hand. Yingying, stop making a fuss. Yingying Xiao persisted, Cousin, are you really my cousin? You won't even help me with this small thing. Just then the waiter brought the food to the table. Let's eat. Baichuan Mo picked up his chopsticks. Cousin, you really won't help me? Yingying Xiao pouted. Baichuan Mo replied helplessly, It's not that I want help, it's that I really don't know Mr. Mog. Cousin, even if you want help me, you have to promise me one thing. Yingying Xiao continued. Go ahead. I want to live at your house for a while. She didn't believe that Mr. Mog wouldn't visit, and when he did, she would naturally meet Mr. Mog. What are you doing staying here? Baichuan Mo frowned slightly. I'm staying to work. Yingying Xiao replied. Stop messing around. I'm not messing around. I already talked to my mom about staying in Beijing. Yingying Xiao said seriously. Baichuan Mo added, I will call your mom. Go ahead, my mom already agreed. Yingying Xiao continued, Cousin, aren't you going to introduce me to Mr. Mog? Baichuan Mo frowned slightly. How many times do I have to tell you, I don't know Mr. Mog? He really doesn't know Mr. Mog, but obviously, Yingying Xiao doesn't believe him. Cousin, stop lying to me. If you really didn't know Mr. Mog, why would he send your grandma a birthday gift? Think about it from another perspective. If I married Mr. Mog, it would be beneficial to you in the future. Yingying Xiao pleaded. You should spend your time improving yourself instead of thinking about these pointless things. Even if you do meet Mr. Mog, what makes you think he will definitely like you? How can a girl have no restraint at all? Baichuan Mo hates girls like Ni Yang who are hell-bent on attaching themselves to men. He never thought that Yingying Xiao would also turn into this kind of girl. Are all girls in the world the same? Even if Mr. Mog doesn't fancy me, at least I can be friends with him. Being associated with someone as powerful as Mr. Mog, even just slightly, could lead to a lifetime of prosperity. Cousin, please help me. Chapter 560. The poisoning is extremely severe. Dr. Wang comes to find _3. Mo Baichuan sighed, I really don't know Mr. Mog. The reason he sent a birthday gift to my grandmother is probably that he was somewhat acquainted with my grandfather. He was acquainted with old Master Mo? If the old master is already well into his 70s, nearing 80, could Mr. Mog also be at that age? Xiao Yingying frowned slightly. Although she didn't want to marry an old man, the man was Mr. Mog. Cousin, have you ever seen Mr. Mog? No. Mo Baichuan shook his head. Grandfather has many good friends, even if I've met them, I wouldn't know which one is Mr. Mog. Xiao Yingying stirred her drink. Oh, I see. Mo Baichuan picked up a piece of sashimi and put it in Xiao Yingying's bowl, speaking seriously. Yingying, you need to be down to earth, stop thinking about all these fantasies. Just imagine, if Mr. Mog turns out to be an old man like my grandfather, would you still want to marry him? Yes. Xiao Yingying nodded. Mo Baichuan continued, and what if he already has a large family with grandchildren? This time Xiao Yingying fell silent. After a long while, Xiao Yingying finally lifted her head. Cousin, let me stay at your place for now, I promise I won't disturb your work. Since she had come all this way, she needed to clarify things before going back. She had to see with her own eyes whether Mr. Mog was truly an old man with grandchildren before she could give up. If you want to stay, you can. The Mo family had a large house with plenty of rooms, having one more girl staying over was not a problem at all. Thank you, cousin. Mo Baichuan didn't respond but just stuffed a piece of lobster meat into his mouth. Every word the cousins were saying was heard by the guests at the next table. At the next table sat a young woman in a black suit, a faint smile playing at the corners of her mouth. If Mo Baichuan turned around at that moment, he would definitely recognize that this woman was his ex-sixth aunt, Zhao Jingrong. Zhao Jingrong had divorced Mo Qishan in order to marry Mr. Mog in the past. But she never dreamed that Mr. Mog would turn out to be Mo Baichuan. Actually, she should have realized it a long time ago. Mr. Mog was extremely mysterious, never dealing with any families, yet he specifically sent a birthday present to old Mistress Mo. This was obviously a move to curry favor with the old mistress. With Mr. Mog's current status, he certainly didn't need to curry favor with a woman in her 70s or 80s. But the catch was old Mistress Mo was his grandmother. Isn't it normal for a grandson to try to please his grandmother? Moreover, Mo Baichuan once studied abroad in F country, where Mr. Mog started his enterprise. All of these points were pointing towards Mo Baichuan being Mr. Mog. If she had known earlier that Mo Baichuan was Mr. Mog, she would have been more polite to old Master Mo and the old mistress when she called off the engagement. She shouldn't have made things so ugly. Now, the impression those two old people must have of her would be extremely poor. What should she do now? Zhao Jingrong frowned slightly. Should she first try to win over Mo Baichuan? As long as she successfully wins over Mo Baichuan, even if old Master Mo and the old mistress disagree, what could they do? She needs to speed up her actions while not many people know that Mo Baichuan is Mr. Mog yet. Otherwise, if anyone gets a jump on her, it would be bad. Zhao Jingrong took a sip of sake and began to plan, wondering where to start. Half an hour after Yang had arrived at the Mo family, old Master Mo and the old mistress finally returned home. The old mistress grabbed Yang's hand excitedly. Yang is here. You've been waiting for a long time, haven't you? Why didn't you let us know in advance when you wanted to come over? If you had told us, we could have arranged for a driver to pick you up. Your aunt is right. Remember to tell us next time so we can have the driver pick you up. It's just a gas pedal away. Yang smiled. I just arrived. Uncle Mo, Auntie Mo, you don't have to be so polite. The old mistress laughed. We're all family, there's no need for such formalities. By the way, Yang, I heard that you went to M country with your mother recently. When did you guys come back? We got home yesterday morning. Yang continued. Oh yes, Aunt Mo, I brought you a gift from M country. Really? The old mistress looked somewhat surprised. Yes. Yang nodded, took out the gift box and presented it to the old mistress. The gift that Yang had brought for the old mistress and old master was a massager that was not available domestically. When people reach a certain age, their immunity begins to weaken, often leading to weakness in the legs. Using this massager would provide significant relief. Chapter 561. The poisoning is tremendously severe. Dr. Wang comes to find _4. Since the instructions were all in English, Yang began teaching the two elders how to use the massager. In the afternoon, Yang proposed to leave. The lady and the master of the Mo family tried several times to persuade her to stay for dinner, but were rejected by Ni Yang. Firstly because she had other things to do, and secondly because she was unwilling to face Mo Baichuan, especially when Mo Qixin was not around. With no other choice, the elderly couple from the Mo family could only see Ni Yang to the door. "Aunt Mo, Uncle Mo, please go back inside." The two elders nodded but didn't seem to want to go back inside. But it's funny how things work out. Ni Yang, who desperately didn't want to see Mo Baichuan, ended up running into him. Just as she was about to mount her bicycle, a black jeep stopped by the road. Mo Baichuan and Xiao Yingying got out of it. Ni Yang wouldn't waste her breath on them. She acted as though she hadn't seen Mo Baichuan and rode past him. Mo Baichuan frowned slightly. Xiao Yingying, pulling at Mo Baichuan's sleeve, sneered, "So she just rides a bicycle?" Seeing Ni Yang in this pitiful state, Xiao Yingying felt a sense of inexplicable elation and superiority. As fellow girls, she was a pampered young lady doted upon since birth who had a chauffeur to attend to her. And Ni Yang? What could Ni Yang possibly have to offer other than her pretty face? Even her boyfriend was beneath her. Mo Baichuan didn't show any expression. "She is just a sole proprietor, what else do you think she can ride?" Xiao Yingying chuckled. "Cousin, has the Mo family ever thought about getting her a car? After all, she did come knocking against the grain. Surely you can't let her get the short end of the stick. Riding that kind of bicycle here is so embarrassing." Mo Baichuan remained silent, but a flicker of contempt clearly flashed in his eyes. The couple continued to walk towards the main entrance. Just then, as if Xiao Yingying had suddenly remembered something, she said, "Cousin, wait a minute." "What happened?" Mo Baichuan looked back. Xiao Yingying continued, "I forgot to buy something. Cousin, can you accompany me to the mall?" Mo Baichuan frowned slightly. "Can't you buy it tomorrow?" "No. The Ice Skin Whitening and Moisturizing Cream has been increasing its monthly limit from 30 jars to 60 jars since last month. We release 30 jars on the 5th and 23rd of each month, and today is exactly the 23rd. Let's hurry up before they run out. My mom also asked me to get her a jar of wrinkle cream." Although Xiao Yingying had previously been a student in M country, she was well acquainted with the famous Ice Skin. Despite being a newcomer in the market last year, the brand has already taken several cities by storm. People have even flown in from other cities specifically to purchase its products. Ice Skin now has 3 branches, but its best-selling products are perpetually out of stock. Before Mo Baichuan could react, Xiao Yingying was already pulling him into the car. "Cousin, drive faster." Having no other choice, Mo Baichuan had to start the engine. On turning the corner they ran into Ni Yang. Ni Yang was wearing a sky-blue vintage button-up shirt and a pair of black wide-leg pants. Her dark, lustrous hair was loose behind her, blowing elegantly in the breeze. From the side, she resembled a female university student from the Republican era. Innocent, beautiful, peaceful, untouched by the worldly hustle and bustle. "I must say this Ni Yang is rather attractive," Xiao Yingying remarked as she glanced out the window. "Otherwise, why would my 6th uncle be so smitten with her?" Mo Baichuan replied. In Mo Baichuan's eyes, Mo Qixin had fallen too deeply to listen to reason. No matter how many times Head tried to warn Mo Qixin, he wouldn't believe him. Moreover, he would even mock him. Perhaps this is what people mean by love is blind. Xiao Yingying laughed, bluntly commenting, "Your 6th uncle is a fool." Indeed, he is quite a fool. Mo Baichuan narrowed his eyes but didn't vocalize the thought. After all, Mo Qixin was his uncle. The car was fast and they arrived at the mall in about 15 minutes. Xiao Yingying dragged Mo Baichuan directly to the Ice Skin store on the 3rd floor. When they arrived at the entrance they saw a long line inside and outside the store. Everyone in line was buying the whitening and moisturizing cream and wrinkle cream. Xiao Yingying dragged Mo Baichuan to the line. At this time a sales associate in a green dress came out. "May I ask if you two are lining up to buy the whitening and moisturizing cream and wrinkle cream?" Chapter 562, The Poisoning is Extremely Severe, Dr. Wang comes to find _5. Yes. Xiao Yingying nodded her head. The saleswoman continued, "Sorry, we only have enough whitening moisturizer and anti-wrinkle cream for those already in line. You two can come back and buy on the 5th of next month." "It's sold out?" Xiao Yingying said in surprise. "Yes. How can it be sold out? Miss, can you help us? We came from a long way away, and it's not easy for us to come all this way." Xiao Yingying pleaded with the saleswoman, hoping she might bend the rules a bit. The saleswoman had encountered many such customers. I'm sorry, but both the whitening moisturizer and anti-wrinkle cream are limited editions. I can't do anything about it. You work here, how can you not do anything about it? Can you make an exception for me, please? I'm willing to pay double to buy them. Ever since she started using the whitening moisturizer, Xiao Yingying's complexion had greatly improved. She did not want to suddenly stop using it and have her skin return to her previous state. Otherwise, given Xiao Yingying's proud personality, she would never plead with a mere saleswoman. Even if you offer 10 times the price or 100 times the price, I still can't help you. You may want to ask the other customers in line if they would be willing to sell at a high price. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yingying had no choice but to appeal to the others in line, even offering as much as 5 times the price, but no one agreed. After all, those who could afford the Ice Jade skin product were not ordinary people. They wouldn't care about a few hundred yuan. Seeing this, Xiao Yingying, feeling defeated, grabbed Mo Baichuan's arm and walked back. "Cousin, let's go." Just then, a gentle female voice broke through the air. "Mo Baichuan." Mo Baichuan looked up and saw a young woman in her mid-20s. "Yes, how may I help you?" The woman was none other than Zhao Jingrong. However, as she had been studying abroad since childhood and only met Mo Baichuan a few times. On top of that, Mo Baichuan was not at home the day she broke off the engagement, so it was quite normal that he did not recognize her. Zhao Jingrong said with a smile, "I am Zhao Jingrong." Recognition dawned on Mo Baichuan. "Ah, Miss Zhao." Xiao Yingying glanced at Zhao Jingrong and, finding her not that stunning, felt relieved. But when she saw the complete Ice Jade Skin Beauty Kit in Zhao Jingrong's hands, envy welled up in her eyes. Zhao Jingrong had bought the whole set. Zhao Jingrong continued, "Mo Baichuan, you don't hold any grudge against me for being your 6th uncle's ex-fiancée, do you?" Mo Baichuan smiled. "Even birds know to choose a tree for shelter." "I don't blame you, Miss Zhao." Mo Qishan was useless, while Zhao Jingrong had just returned from her studies abroad. It was only natural that she wouldn't settle for Mo Qishan. Zhao Jingrong's soft voice resonated again. "I had no idea there was someone as understanding as you in the Mo family. I thought everyone in the Mo family was as self-unaware as Mo Qishan." With her remark, Zhao Jingrong had managed both to put down Mo Qishan and elevate herself, whilst indirectly appeasing Mo Baichuan. Everyone enjoys hearing good things about themselves. From her first sentence, she inferred that Mo Baichuan didn't like his uncle Mo Qishan. If he had any regard for him as his uncle, he would have unhesitatingly defended Mo Qishan. But he didn't. Why would that be? Mo Baichuan chuckled. Zhao Jingrong pretended not to know. "By the way, who is this beautiful lady at your side? Your girlfriend?" "No," Mo Baichuan continued, "this is my cousin, Xiao Yingying." Xiao Yingying naturally felt pleased at being complimented for her beauty, and so her opinion of Zhao Jingrong improved considerably. Zhao Jingrong laughed. "So, it's Sister Xiao Yingying, you're here to buy Ice Jade skin too?" "Yes," Xiao Yingying nodded, adding, "Unfortunately, the saleswoman told me that the whitening moisturizer and anti-wrinkle cream are sold out. It seems I will have to come back at the beginning of the month." With that, she let out a sigh. Zhao Jingrong chimed in, "Don't be upset, Sister Xiao. As it happens, I have the whitening moisturizer and anti-wrinkle cream in my full set of Ice Jade skin. I'll give them to you." She had been worried about how to get closer to Mo Baichuan, and then this perfect opportunity presented itself. Xiao Yingying did not expect Zhao Jingrong to be so generous. She replied somewhat embarrassed, "Sister Jingrong, isn't that too much? What about you?" Chapter 563. The poisoning is extremely severe. Dr. Wang comes to find _6. Xiao Yingying was so excited she even included her sister in it. Zhao Jingrong laughed and said, "There's no problem with that. I have some leftovers at home. They would only sit around if I brought them back, so it's better to give them to someone who needs them. Sister Xiao, you don't have to be formal with me." Xiao Yingying already wanted the full set of Ice Muscle Jade skin, so she readily accepted it, saying, "Sister Jingrong, I really can't thank you enough." "You're welcome." Mo Baichuan took his wallet out from his pocket and looked at Zhao Jingrong. "How much is it?" "He'll pay you." He didn't want to owe anyone anything. Zhao Jingrong laughed and said, "Do I, Zhao Jingrong, look stingy to you? Think of it as a welcome gift for Sister Xiao." "But," Zhao Jingrong continued, "Mo Baichuan, if you really feel embarrassed, just invite me for a meal next time." "Alright, I have errands to run. I am leaving. Goodbye." With that, Zhao Jingrong hurriedly walked away. Even though she knew Mo Baichuan was Mr. Mog, Zhao Jingrong wasn't in a hurry. She planned to slowly win over Mo Baichuan, making him sink into her charms one step at a time. Watching Zhao Jingrong's departing figure, Xiao Yingying happily said, "Sister Jingrong is such a good person. It's fortunate she didn't marry your worthless sixth uncle, or she would have wasted her whole life." Without saying much, Mo Baichuan only responded, "We should get going." After leaving the Mo family, Ai Yang went to the store first to buy some cigarettes, then to the restaurant. Nearly 3 months had passed, and the restaurant was almost fully renovated, only final touches were needed. "Uncle Tiniu. Yang Yang's here." Wang Tiniu immediately put down the sandpaper in his hand. Ai Yang smiled, "Uncle Tiniu, thank you for your hard work during this time." Somewhat embarrassed, Wang Tiniu said, "That's nothing. There's nothing hard about it." Ai Yang handed over the cigarettes she just bought from the store. "Uncle Tiniu, take these cigarettes and give each person a pack." Yang, you're already paying us very well, I can't take these cigarettes. Ordinary workers only get 80 cents a day, but Ai Yang was paying them 2.5 yuan a day, and providing them with a meal at noon, so everyone had full energy at work without any slack. "Just take it, these cigarettes are for everyone, not just for you." Ai Yang directly stuffed the cigarettes into Wang Tiniu's hand. "Then let me thank you on everyone's behalf." Ai Yang laughed and said, "There's nothing to thank. Everyone is doing manual labor, I should be the one to thank you all." "Oh right, Uncle Tiniu, the furniture factory should deliver the tables and chairs tomorrow. You just need to arrange them according to this design." Ai Yang handed Wang Tiniu a design diagram. The design was drawn by Ai Yang herself. She had good drawing skills, which made it very realistic and natural, so any ordinary person could understand it at a glance. Wang Tiniu nodded, "All right, Yang. You can count on me." After Ai Yang left, Wang Tiniu distributed the cigarettes Ai Yang bought to everyone. Red peony cigarettes with a retail price of 1 yuan per pack. Normally, everyone would hesitate to smoke such expensive cigarettes. Yang is such a polite girl. "I will save this cigarette and smoke it during the new year." The next morning, just as Ai Yang opened her eyes, she heard Ai Tsuehua knocking on the door. Yang, wake up, Dr. Wang is here. He said there's something urgent he needs to discuss with you. Chapter 564. Home Medical Treatment, Slapping G-1. The urgency mentioned by the doctor usually pertains to matters of life and death. Upon hearing this, Ai Yang rolled over in bed, sitting up immediately. "All right, Mom, I'm getting up now." Ai Yang hurriedly got out of bed, randomly grabbing a cheongsam to put on, and after brushing her teeth and washing her face, she went to the front hall to meet Dr. Wang. All of this took less than 10 minutes in total. Not only Wang Yili had arrived, but also his younger brother Wang Yizhang. "Yang, you're back at last." Upon seeing Ai Yang, Wang Yili was particularly excited. "Grandpa Wang, did you come to see me because of some urgency?" Ai Yang asked in response. Wang Yili continued, Yang, let me introduce you, this is my younger brother Wang Yizhang. Yizhang, this is the young divine doctor Ai Yang I've told you about." "Hello, second Grandpa Wang." Ai Yang greeted politely. To be honest, upon seeing Ai Yang, Wang Yizhang felt a bit disappointed. Even though Wang Yili had told him that Ai Yang was young. But he never expected Ai Yang to be this young. She looked no older than 20, right? Could such a young child really possess such extraordinary medical skills? At her age, he was just beginning to learn about traditional Chinese medicine. Even though he felt a bit disappointed, Wang Yizhang hid his feelings well. After all, this was the young divine doctor that his brother admired. He might as well try his luck. "Nice to meet you, young divine doctor." Wang Yizhang nodded. Wang Yili continued, Yang, we came here today to ask for your help." "What's the matter?" "Just tell me, Grandpa Wang." Wang Yili revealed Wang Yizhang's situation to her. Upon hearing this, Ai Yang slightly furrowed her brows. "From the description, I can't yet determine what's wrong with the patient. How about this, I'll go with you to see him." "That would be great." Wang Yili continued, Yang, are you free today?" Even if Ai Yang didn't have time, she would make time in face of a life or death situation. "The patient's condition is important, let's go now." "All right." Wang Yili continued, Yizhang, let's go." "Okay." Wang Yizhang nodded. The three of them walked out together when Ai Tsuehua came out from the house. Yang, you haven't had breakfast yet, take this with you." Ai Tsuehua handed Ai Yang a bag, and then gave the 2 other bags she held to Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang. "Sirs, you haven't had breakfast yet, take these." "Madam Yang, you're too kind, we've already eaten." Both of them politely declined. They rushed over empty-handed early in the morning without bringing any gifts. Even if they really hadn't eaten, they felt embarrassed accepting the breakfast from Enai Tsuehua. Enai Tsuehua noticed that Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang hadn't eaten, and she continued, "Sirs, don't be so polite, take it. Everything is homemade, not worth much." Hearing this, Wang Yili accepted it. "Thank you, Madam Yang Yang. You're welcome." The breakfast included a bottle of milk and a sandwich. Enai Yang first finished the sandwich and then started drinking the milk. The milk at this time was stored in glass bottles, which looked quite appetizing. The sandwich was taught to Enai Tsuehua by Enai Yang, with ingredients like fried eggs, meat slices, lettuce, pickles, and a layer of chili oil. It tasted sour and spicy, the lettuce and pickles effectively reducing the greasiness of the eggs and meat, very appetizing. Both Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang had never eaten a sandwich before and found it very novel. "Yang Yang, what is this? A meat sandwich?" It seemed like a meat sandwich, but it also didn't look like one, and it tasted much better than a meat sandwich. Enai Yang laughed. "This is called a sandwich." Sandwich. Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang looked at each other. They had never heard of such a strange name before. Enai Yang nodded, then said, "The sandwich is a foreign fast food dish, and I've adapted it according to the Chinese taste." "Oh, I see." Wang Yili nodded, then said, "This sandwich is really delicious." Enai Yang smirked. "Grandpa Wang, if you like it, you can always come to my house as a guest." Where Mr. Abner lived was downtown. About an hour later, their car arrived at the destination. "Brother Yang Yang, we have arrived." Wang Yizhang spoke first. "Good, let's get out of the car." Wang Yili opened the car door. Chapter 565. Home Medical Treatment, Slapping G-Row_2. Several people got out of the car. At the door, the bodyguard stood in the way without immediately allowing Wang Yizhang and Wang Yili to enter. Wang Yizhang then said, "Could you please inform Mr. Abner that the divine doctor has arrived?" Even though it pained him to call anyone the divine doctor. But the arrow was already on the string, and he had no choice but to let it fly. One of the bodyguards nodded. "Wait here." Wang Yizhang looked at Enai Yang, apologizing. "I'm sorry, Yang Yang, this patient is a bit difficult. I didn't mean for you to get offended." "It's fine." Enai Yang shook her head. Shortly after, a large group of people came towards them. A young man and woman led the group. The man was a blonde foreigner with blue eyes, while the woman was a tall Chinese woman. "Dr. Wang," the foreign man said in halting Chinese as he walked towards Wang Yili, "is this the devised doctor you brought?" "Divine doctor, hello, I'm Abner from F country. I hope you can cure my mother's illness." With his full white beard, Wang Yili resembled a hermit, so it was understandable Mr. Abner could mistake him for the divine doctor. After all, no one would associate the title of divine doctor with a teenage girl. Wang Yili awkwardly replied, "Sir, you have mistaken me, I'm not the divine doctor. The real divine doctor is her." Wang Yili then pointed to Enai Yang. "Her?" Mr. Abner looked at Enai Yang, slightly taken aback. "This young girl is too young." That was Mr. Abner's initial reaction. His second reaction was he felt like he had seen Enai Yang somewhere before, but he just couldn't recall where. This was truly strange. Wang Yizhang nodded, "Yes, her. Mr. Abner, this young divine doctor might be able to cure your mother. Shall we give her a try?" Before Mr. Abner could reply, a scoff sounded from the sidelines. "Dr. Wang, have you gone senile? Who are you just bringing to see Mr. Abner? A teenage girl who dares to claim herself to be the divine doctor. What a joke." Ji-Ro didn't recognize Enai Yang. After all, it had been a long time since their brief encounter on the street, and they were quite a distance apart then. Not remembering her would be normal. "Young girl, do you know how to speak properly? Do you know there are some people you can't judge by appearance?" Wang Yili spoke unpleased. Meanwhile, Wang Yili was guessing in his heart, this girl was probably the Miss Ji his brother had spoken of. No wonder Wang Yizhang detested her. Indeed, she was not a likable girl. "Old man, I was speaking with Dr. Wang. Why are you so eager to interrupt? Do you know there is a saying in China that goes, 'Dogs don't have a place in the human conversation'?" Ji Rao's words, seemingly polite with all the sirs and you, were actually barbed at every turn. Wang Yili's face turned a deep red, yet he was left with no retort. At this moment, a soft voice floated in the air. "I wonder if this lady here has heard of another Chinese saying, 'Respect your elders'?" Despite being younger than Ji-Ro, Enai Yang's aura was superior. Her calm remark turned Ji Rao's face pale. Ji-Ro had never been put down so harshly before. After all, respecting elders is a virtue that has been passed down in China for 5,000 years. Mr. Abner turned to look at Enai Yang, a sudden enthusiasm in his eyes. "I remember now. You were the young girl who saved someone in the streets last time. Can you really cure my mom's illness? It was no coincidence Mr. Abner remembered N.I. Yang. N.I. Yang was so beautiful that he noticed her immediately in the crowd back then. He had never seen such a beautiful Eastern girl. N.I. Yang was the first. When she heard this, Ji-ro instantaneously remembered, but she had no good impression of N.I. Yang on the street. She thought N.I. Yang was all about the limelight, mystifying things. This was a girl with a scheming heart, who had exhausted all means to get Wang Yizhang to bring her to see Mr. Abner. She was just trying to bewitch Mr. Abner with her face and gain power. What a disgrace. Instead of studying hard at such a young age, she was doing dishonorable things. Wasn't that shameful? Perhaps even what happened that day on the street was a setup by N.I. Yang. She just wanted to attract Mr. Abner's attention and stage today's drama. Chapter 566. Home Medical Treatment Slapping Ji-ro_3. Ji-ro's face grew increasingly grim, ready to expose N.I. Yang's true face at any moment. Only Mr. Abner had seen N.I. Yang that day. N.I. Yang didn't notice him until then. She asked somewhat strangely, "What street? Have we met before?" At this, Ji-ro scoffed coldly. She's really putting on a good act. Ji-ro was curious to see just how long N.I. Yang could keep the act going. Mr. Abner explained what he saw that day. Only then did N.I. Yang get it. "Oh, you're talking about that day. The elderly woman had a sudden heart attack that day, and I just administered some basic first aid measures to her. As for your mother's disease, I can only decide after I've seen her condition. I can't give you a definite answer on whether or not it can be cured right now." Mr. Abner immediately said, "Divine Doctor, come with me." He had initially thought that N.I. Yang failed to save the old lattice life last time, which was why she hastily left. To his surprise, N.I. Yang actually managed to save the old lady. It seems that China does indeed have a divine doctor. Wait a moment. Ji-ro suddenly spoke. "Miss Ji, what's wrong?" Mr. Abner turned back with a puzzled look. "Mr. Abner, please don't believe her. She's a liar. She doesn't know anything about medical skills. She's colluding with Dr. Wang to deceive you. I grew up in China and I've never seen a teenage divine doctor. She's just trying to draw your attention by leveraging her good looks." Speaking fluently in French, Ji-ro continued, "Mr. Abner, please don't be fooled by her and cause unnecessary pain for your wife." At her words, Mr. Abner's expression changed. He trusted Ji-ro. And considering that N.I. Yang didn't offer any explanation after hearing Ji-ro's words, he began to question N.I. Yang's true intentions. "What did she say?" Wang Yili asked anxiously. "Yizhang, can you understand it?" "I don't understand." Wang Yizhang shook his head and whispered, "But judging by the look on her face, she's not saying anything nice. A fine Chinese speaker, why would she switch to speaking bird language?" Wang Yili's face darkened. "This Ms. Ji is really too bullying. Can't she just speak openly and honestly?" Ji-ro's face was smug. She was speaking French. Could those two old fools and the young girl understand it? Ji-ro looked at N.I. Yang, her lips curled in disdain, and a mocking glint in her eyes. Her whole goal was to make sure N.I. Yang couldn't understand, to make N.I. Yang embarrass herself. Ji-ro had seen many Chinese who couldn't speak French. In front of the people of F country, they were like mutes, their hand and foot work clumsy and comical. Just wait. N.I. Yang was about to embarrass herself. Just as Ji-ro was waiting for N.I. Yang to embarrass herself, a pleasant French voice sounded in the air. "Dear unnamed sister, do you really think it's alright to maliciously assume things about others? I wonder if you have ever heard the saying judge others as you judge yourself, or if you know what it means. The saying means that you see others as what you are yourself. You are trying to seduce Mr. Abner and you're attempting to slander others without any shame." By the end of her statement, N.I. Yang simply shook her head. Ji-ro's face turned green with fury. She had never expected that a girl who seemed to have barely had any education would be fluent in French. It was simply unbelievable. While Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang didn't understand what N.I. Yang was saying, they inexplicably felt thrilled. Just by looking at Ji-ro's face they could tell that N.I. Yang had gained the upper hand. This ignorant girl really needed some harsh lessons. "What are you babbling about?" Ji-ro said, "I'm going to sue you. You're defaming me." N.I. Yang smiled faintly, replying in French, "What you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others. When you were defaming me just now, have you not thought I could also sue you?" Ji-ro choked, her face turned even uglier. She had never been so humiliated in front of Mr. Abner before. What on earth was the background of this young girl? She was so annoyed. N.I. Yang continued, "Dear sister, Are you aware that your accusatory behavior just now could have cost Mr. Abner's mother's chance of recovery if it were a doctor who didn't understand French? You think you can cure the wife's disease? Ji-ro was so angry her face turned pale. And Ai-yang gave a slight smile. Whether I can or not, just wait and see. Chapter 567, Home Medical Treatment, Slapping Ji-ro_4. Ai-yang's actions not only took Ji-ro by surprise but also Mr. Abner. He never expected that Ai-yang would be able to strike back so beautifully in front of the powerful Ji-ro. A person who can speak French so fluently mustn't have poor medical skills. You should know, French is one of the top 10 hardest languages in the world to learn. Even Ji-ro, who had lived in F country for 7 or 8 years, only managed to learn it so fluently. Divine Doctor, please come with me. To show his respect for Ai-yang, Mr. Abner still spoke in Chinese. Mr. Abner. Ji-ro was not satisfied. Miss Ji, I think you should be clear about your status. While saying this neutrally, Ji-ro shivered all over. What was her status? At best, she was just a senior assistant to Mr. Abner. Wang Yili glanced at Ji-ro with a cold hum and walked straight past her. Wang Yizhang also showed no friendly face toward Ji-ro. Ji-ro's face was uglier than it ever had been before, but she had to suppress her anger and follow behind the group. She was eager to see what kind of abilities Ai-yang actually had. Mr. Abner's mother was staying on the 3rd floor. The bedroom was large, well-ventilated, and almost odorless. This is my mother, said Mr. Abner, pointing to the middle-aged woman lying on the bed. Mr. Abner's mother was 47 years old. Her name was Georgia. Georgia was covered in tubes for life support. She didn't look frail like a typical patient, but was rather radiant. If it weren't for the tubes in her body, anyone would think she was healthy. And Ai-yang had never seen such a phenomenon. It was Wang Yili's first time seeing Georgia. He turned his head to Wang Yizhang and said, "Strange, I've never seen a patient like this." And Ai-yang didn't say much. Instead, she sat down beside Georgia and reached out her hand to feel her pulse, concentrating on her diagnosis. The only sound in the ward was the beeping of the heart monitor. After a while, Ai-yang slowly opened her eyes. Mr. Abner asked anxiously, "How is it? Divine Doctor, can my mother be saved?" His mother's illness had been going on for too long. Each day felt like torture to her. Seeing his mother like this as a son, Mr. Abner was truly distressed. "Your mother is suffering from cold syndrome. Don't worry, it's not a serious illness," Ai-yang said lightly. Not a serious illness? Georgia's illness had stumped both Western and traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, yet Ai-yang casually stated it wasn't a serious illness. Was she being overconfident? Even Wang Yizhang felt Ai-yang was being unreasonable. "Miss Ai, are you saying that you're confident you can cure Mrs. George's illness?" Ji-ro asked. Yes, Ai-yang nodded. Even the professors of Western medicine in M country couldn't diagnose Mrs. George's condition, and yet you say it's not a serious illness. Do you believe you have more authority than the professors? Oh, I forgot to ask earlier, do you have a medical license? How many years have you been practicing medicine? Ji-ro asked aggressively. Ai-yang laughed and said, "It's not that I'm better than foreign professors. Sometimes, some medical conditions can't be diagnosed with machines. Western medicine has its strengths and so does traditional Chinese medicine. If traditional Chinese medicine was truly useless, it wouldn't have been passed down for 5,000 years in China, and you wouldn't be here." Ai-yang didn't mean to belittle Western medicine. This statement was made with great confidence and poise. If this had been a Western doctor, they probably wouldn't have this kind of tolerance. This is the legacy of 5,000 years of traditional Chinese medicine. Ji-ro bit her lip. "Miss Ai, you're really good at avoiding the main point. I asked if you have a medical license." Ai-yang laughed and said, "Of course I have a medical license. Otherwise I wouldn't be practicing medicine." Ai-yang pulled out a traditional Chinese medicine certification from her bag. Ever since she had successfully treated Mo Hudi, Ai-yang had taken the time to obtain her traditional Chinese medicine certification. Now she is a certified traditional Chinese doctor. This certificate couldn't be fake, could it? Ji-ro had some doubts but had nothing more to say. Ai-yang looked at Mr. Abner and asked, "Did your mother go to the mountains for a trip 2 years ago and come back with a serious illness?" Mr. Abner thought for a moment, then said, "Yes, that's correct." Chapter 568, Home Medical Treatment, Slapping Ji-ro_5. Abner remembered the time his mother was ill for over half a month very clearly because she had to undergo a major surgery before she finally recovered. Ai-yang nodded. "Exactly, your mother had been infected with a cold deficiency 2 years ago. She wasn't going to last long, but luckily you sent her to the hospital in time and supplemented her with rare nourishments which cured her. Your mother was already fine, but a year ago she must have caught a cold, which caused the cold deficiency to return. Mr. Abner looked totally shocked, because what Yang said was completely accurate. About a year ago, his mother got lost in a snowy night. When they found her the next day, she had already lost consciousness. After the rescue, there didn't seem to be any major problems at the time. But a month later, she started bedridden, and now she's in this state. Divine Doctor, you are amazing. Please take care of my mother. Whatever you need to do, we are at your disposal. Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang looked at each other, their eyes filled with admiration. Wang Yizhang, who originally doubted Yang, was now totally convinced. Bro, this young divine doctor is incredible. Wang Yili stroked his beard, proudly saying, I told you long ago that Yang is amazing. Even though it was Yang who diagnosed the disease, Wang Yili was happier than if he had diagnosed it himself. The least happy person here was Ji-ro. What was the yellow-haired girl proud of? She didn't believe Yang could cure Georgia. Could traditional Chinese medicine really be that amazing? How is it possible? Yang continued, if you trust me, let's first remove all these chest drainage tubes, gastric tubes, oxygen tubes from your wife. Only then I can proceed to the next step of treatment. All right, Mr. Abner nodded rapidly. Yes, I'll listen to you. Klaus, go and call someone over quickly. All right. Klaus immediately went out to call people. Yang took out a banknote, lowered her eyes to write a prescription, and handed it to Mr. Abner. Get someone to buy these herbs, then decoct them into a medicinal soup. In a short while, Klaus ushered in the doctors. When they heard that Yang wanted to remove the tubes from Georgia, they all opposed it. Mr. Abner, currently your wife's life is being maintained by these tubes. If we remove them, your wife will die. Our Western medicine is so advanced and we still can't cure your wife's disease. How can traditional Chinese medicine do it with just their bitter concoctions? What you're doing isn't saving your wife, it's harming her. Hearing this, Ji-ro stepped forward. Mr. Abner, I think what everyone said makes sense. Even though Miss Ni accurately identified your wife's ailment, it doesn't rule out the possibility that she had investigated it ahead of time. Given your prestigious status, who knows how many Chinese people want to curry favor with you? Yang slightly frowned, looking down on your own compatriots like this. Aren't you Chinese, sister? Of course I'm not Chinese. A gleam of triumph flashed in Ji-ro's eyes. She was now a citizen of country F. Yang smiled faintly. It's lucky that we're living in a time of peace. Otherwise you'd certainly be seen as a traitor. You. Ji-ro was furious. Did I say anything wrong? Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. Sister, you owe traditional Chinese medicine an apology. Ji-ro carried herself with righteous indignation. Traditional Chinese medicine is outdated and incompetent, and we're not allowed to say this? People like you will never understand the sophistication of Western culture, always sticking to obsolete ideas, spouting sweet words here, deceiving and cheating. Miss G is right. Mr. Abner, don't be fooled by this quack. The other doctors were also seething with anger. This young lady looked no more than a teenager. How could she possibly possess medical skills? Mr. Abner, traditional Chinese medicine emphasizes a bond between patient and doctor. We do not force our treatments on anyone. Since I do not have this bond with your wife, I'll make a move first. Please invite someone more capable. Yang began to pack up her medical box, preparing to leave. Seeing Yang stand her ground in such a way, oddly enough, the brothers Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang found it extremely satisfying. This is the style of traditional Chinese medicine should have. Begging and pleading is definitely not the style of traditional Chinese medicine. Let these folks from F country regret it. Mr. Abner was somewhat stunned, and at that moment he didn't know how to make a decision. His mother had indeed been relying on this equipment to sustain her life for some time. If the tubes were recklessly pulled out and that caused her to lose her life, he would have become an accomplice. Yang put away her medical kit and started to leave, and everyone in the room made way for her. Seeing this, a self-satisfied expression appeared on Ji-ro's face. She knew Yang didn't have much of a knack. If she did, she wouldn't have slunk off with her tail between her legs. Just as Yang turned to leave, a hand tightly gripped hers. Yang looked back slightly. Unbeknownst to her, Georgia, who had been unconscious, had woken up, and it was she who had grabbed Yang's hand. Don't go. Beautiful girl, I believe in you. Please stay and treat me. Georgia's voice was extremely weak, but she held onto Yang's hand tightly. It was a desperate plea from a seriously ill person. She had already been sick for over a year. She had never encountered a doctor who could correctly diagnose her illness, nor had any doctor said that they could cure it. Young may be young, she was willing to take a gamble. If she won, she could survive. If she lost, she would just be dead. She wouldn't live much longer anyway, and rather than living in pain, she would be better off dead. Looking into George's dull eyes, Young couldn't bear to refuse and nodded, "Okay. Thank you." A pale smile appeared at the corners of George's mouth. "Madam, you're being foolish." Jiro hastily walked forward. "Shut up. This is not your place to speak." Georgia turned to look at Mr. Abner. "Abner?" Jiro's face whitened. "Mom?" Mr. Abner walked over to Georgia. Georgia continued, "If anything unexpected happens during the procedure, it has nothing to do with this young lady. Please don't blame her. Because this is my own choice. She was already a dying person, and she absolutely could not involve others in her troubles before her death." Seeing Mr. Abner remaining silent, Georgia continued, "Abner, promise me quickly." Mr. Abner nodded with difficulty. "All right. I promise you." Jiro anxiously said, "Mr. Abner, Madam has lost her ability to think clearly, but you must not be confused." Mr. Abner sighed, "Stop talking, I respect my mother's wishes." He finished speaking and bowed deeply to Young. "Divine Doctor, we're counting on you." Young didn't say much. She turned to look at Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang. "Would the two of you mind assisting me?" "Of course." Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang immediately stepped forward. It didn't take long for the three of them to remove all the tubes on George's body. As soon as the tubes were removed, it seemed as though all of George's strength had been drained. Her head slumped to the side and she immediately closed her eyes. Wang Yili slightly furrowed his brows, checking George's breathing. Suddenly, his face turned white and he looked at Young, whispering, She seems to have stopped breathing." "Stopped breathing." Jiro only wished to stir up trouble and shrieked, "How can she stop breathing? Miss didn't you say your medical skills were good and that you could cure Madam?" At this point, Jiro looked at Mr. Abner, adding fuel to the fire. "Murdering compensates life. Mr. Abner, you must hold Miss accountable." Young had embarrassed her many times. Of course she needed to take revenge. Even though Georgia had said she wouldn't hold Young responsible while alive, but how trustworthy could the words of a sick person be? Moreover, there were no written agreements. Now it would be her word against the dead. Chapter 569. Insane Slapping. _1 Thinking about Yang's impending prison sentence, Ji Rao's heart was filled with exhilaration. Mr. Abner's face immediately turned pale. His legs buckled and he looked like he was about to collapse on the ground. Just then a fair hand grabbed his wrist. "There's nothing to worry about. From a medical perspective, your wife is merely in a state of apparent death." Her voice was soft and bland, but it was having a calming effect on him. The temperature of Mr. Abner's body finally began to rise slowly. "Apparent death? Impossible. My wife is clearly dead," Jiro argued. "Mr. Abner, don't listen to her absurdities." Young glanced at Jiro and smirked. "It appears that you desperately want your wife to die." On hearing those words, Mr. Abner slightly furrowed his brow, his eyes full of displeasure as he looked at Jiro. Jiro also quickly realized her mistake and immediately corrected herself. "Mr. Abner, I didn't mean that. I'm just overly worried and anxious." She was clearly dead. Could Young bring somebody back to life? Jiro bit her lip, anxious to see how Young would handle this situation. Mr. Abner's face had finally eased a little. Young turned to Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang. "Do you have the acupuncture kits?" "Yes," they both nodded. "It is said in the Qianjin Fang that each acupuncture point has its implications. Let's start acupuncture on your wife now. Lord Wang, you are in charge of the Tianshu acupoint and above. It should be 3 finger widths in. Lord Wang II, you're responsible for the points below the Tianshu acupoint. The Shuahai acupuncture's point should be 3 finger widths down." The ancient people had named each of the meridian points on the human body for a reason. Acupuncture had been passed down for thousands of years. As long as the needle is inserted correctly, and the meridians are unblocked, the illness should be half cured. Hearing this, Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang proceeded with the acupuncture without any hesitation. If Young said that Georgia was not dead, then there must be a reason for it. The Western doctors stood there, their faces filled with astonishment. Although they frequently performed surgeries in Western medicine, they really hadn't seen acupuncture before. Could this really work? A few of them started to whisper amongst themselves, and Yang didn't care about them. She inserted the last silver needle into Georgia's Baihui acupoint. She was wearing a white long-sleeve cheongsam. Her pure black border complemented her radiant black hair perfectly. Her slender wrist, as delicate as white lotus root, fell from the sleeve. Her slender fingertips rotated the silver needle slowly. She appeared focused and serious. One of her hair strands slid over her cheek. The interplay of white and black created a beautiful scenery. Even without makeup, her beauty was breathtaking. Ji-ro looked down at her own cheongsam and felt a nameless inferiority complex. Ji-ro had a typical face for a woman from the water towns in the south of the Yangtze River, making her a perfect match for a cheongsam. She never envisioned someone else would look better in a cheongsam than her. It felt as if something that originally belonged to her had been stolen. If a girl like Yang were to get a chance to shine, she would soar high in the sky. Therefore, she could not allow Yang to turn her fortunes around today. Ji-ro clenched her fingers. Mr. Abner, you... Ji-ro was just about to say something but was interrupted by Mr. Abner. Miss Ji, you're tired. You should go rest. Is Mr. Abner intending to shield Yang? Ji-ro squinted her eyes. Although she was unhappy, she had no choice but to leave. Yang's treatment continued. The more Ji-ro thought about it, the more uncomfortable she got. She couldn't let Yang get away with such a crime. She walked out of the manor, arrived at the public phone booth and dialed a number. Hello, is this the police station? A quack doctor has taken a life at Wanqing Manor. The detailed address is... After she hung up the phone, a satisfied smile curled up on Ji-ro's lips. There was no escape for Yang now. A life had been lost after all. The police were quick to arrive. In no time one could hear the siren outside. Ji-ro adjusted her cheongsam and hairstyle and followed behind the police officers, heading to George's room smugly. Just you wait. Yang was about to become a convict. The room was full of Western doctors who all made way for the police as they entered, casting sympathetic glances at Yang. The police had arrived. Mr. Abner wouldn't be able to shield her anymore. We received a call about a quack doctor who claimed a life here. Where is the deceased? Chapter 570, Insane Slapping. _2. Mr. Abner walked out and said, I am the lord of this manor and there has been no murder here. Are you sure of your facts? Since his mother had already told him beforehand, he would not go back on his word. In any case, this was his mother's own choice. Upon seeing the police coming in, both Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang were slightly panicked. Although Yang had said that Georgia was only in a state of fake death, Georgia still hadn't breathed and hadn't responded at all. They wouldn't really take Yang away, would they? Once associated with a homicide, then Yang's life would be ruined. Right then, Wang Yili somewhat regretted introducing Yang to Wang Yizhang. He was the one who had ruined Yang. Ji-ro pointed at Georgia, who was lying on the bed, and said, Mr. Abner, up to this point, are you still going to cover for Yang? The victim is your own biological mother. Officer, the deceased is right here. Upon conclusion, Ji-ro pointed at Yang and said, and she is the killer. Yang didn't look panicked at all. She didn't even spare Ji-ro an extra glance. She bent down to help Georgia, saying, take it slow, sit up and see if you're having trouble breathing. Georgia, who had been lying in bed with no signs of life, gradually opened her eyes and with Yang's help, slowly sat up in bed. I feel a lot better. The most noticeable change was the absence of her headache, and the weight gone off her shoulders, feeling indescribably relieved. Seeing this, everyone in the room was stunned. Mr. Abner immediately rushed over saying, Mom, are you okay? Are you really okay? Georgia had been lying in bed for over a year, unable to sit up because she couldn't use the muscles in her back. This was simply a miracle. Impossible. This is impossible. Ji-ro, who had been ready to enjoy a good laugh, turned pale on the spot. How could this be possible? How could worthless traditional Chinese medicine be so powerful? Didn't Georgia breathe her last? Why isn't Georgia dead? Ji-ro clenched her fists, breaking several fingernails in the process. Seeing Georgia awake and safe, the other Western doctors also marveled at this miracle. They knew Georgia had been pronounced dead by them. But now, she was miraculously cured by a traditional Chinese doctor that they had always looked down on. This was simply unimaginable. Could it be that traditional Chinese medicine is this powerful? The Western doctors' opinions of Yang were changing. Even Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang were somewhat shocked. Neither of them had expected Georgia to wake up abruptly. The police saw that it was all a misunderstanding, said a few words and then turned to leave. Please wait a moment, officer, said N.I. Yang lightly. Young comrade, do you have any other matters? N.I. Yang continued, what punishment would one receive for falsely reporting crimes, maliciously misleading and seriously disrupting public order and wasting public resources? The leading policeman replied, according to the regulation on public order punishments, those who commit such crimes will be detained for up to 15 days. If they commit a crime, they will be prosecuted for criminal responsibility. N.I. Yang nodded, turned to look at Jiro and said, so this lady who falsely reported a crime maliciously misled the public, seriously disrupted public order and wasted public resources, should be dealt with according to the law, right? N.I. Yang was not someone who could be easily manipulated by Jiro. Since Jiro never intended to let her off in the first place, she would repay her with a 15-day police station tour. Were you the one who reported the incident? The policeman turned and asked Jiro. Jiro was dumbfounded, as if struck by the imposing aura of the officer. She turned pale and said, it was me. Mr. Abner immediately cast a disappointed look at Jiro. The trust Jiro had built up in his heart was gradually disintegrating. Just as Jiro realized that she had misspoken and quickly covered her mouth, it was too late. She was escorted by the police into their vehicle. Mr. Abner, save me, it wasn't me, it really wasn't me. She couldn't be sent to the detention center, she couldn't leave a stain on her record. The original plan was to get N.I. Yang into the police car, but she ended up becoming a laughingstock before N.I. Yang. Ever since she returned to the country, Jiro had never lost such great face. This was such a disgrace. Jiro was filled with regret, but there was no antidote for remorse in this world. Chapter 571, Insane Slapping. _3. N.I. Yang looked at her retreating figure, a slight smile curling her lips. Mr. Abner came to N.I. Yang's side, then asked, Divine Doctor, is my mother fully cured now? N.I. Yang withdrew her gaze and replied, the cold deficiency isn't a big illness. Roughly half a month of traditional Chinese medicine should be sufficient for a complete recovery. They'll come by for a follow-up in half a month. Thank you so much, Divine Doctor. Thank you for giving my mother a second chance at life. Mr. Abner said gratefully. No need for thanks, it's my duty as a doctor. Divine Doctor, we were ignorant before. We are sorry for any inconvenience caused. Several Western doctors came forward and bowed their heads in apology to N.I. Yang. They had underestimated traditional Chinese medicine from the start. N.I. Yang responded straightforwardly, Chinese and Western medicines each have their strengths, I only treat the diseases I am skilled to. I turn to you for advice when I encounter stubborn diseases. I believe the best approach integrates both Chinese and Western medicine, making good use of each other's strengths. We shouldn't stereotype different cultures. In her actions, she constantly embodied the essence of a great nation. The Western doctors couldn't help but hang their heads in shame, submitting under her words. Seeing the Western doctors apologize to N.I. Yang, Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang felt extremely proud. In an era dominated by Western medicine, finally, someone has turned the table for them. It's not easy to make these Western doctors bow their heads. And N.I. Yang's argument was valid. Chinese medicine has its advantages and so does Western medicine, neither is overlapping the other. If these two could be utilized in conjunction, it would surely benefit humanity even more. Mr. Abner's eyes filled with admiration. Although this young girl didn't seem aged, her understanding far surpassed her years. She emanated a kind of beauty refined by time itself. The Western doctors then asked, Can we ask you a few questions? Of course. N.I. Yang nodded, delicately answering the questions posed by them. Wang Yili and Wang Yizhang unconsciously joined in, discussing medical knowledge, and they ended up sitting down together to discuss the details in the medical office of the manor. Georgia held Mr. Abner's hand and said, You must properly thank the Divine Doctor. Mr. Abner nodded, Don't worry, I will. At noon, Mr. Abner grandly entertained them. N.I. Yang made an agreement with him to come for a follow-up visit after 15 days. After the meal, N.I. Yang followed Wang Yizhang's car to the city center. Second grandfather Wang, you can drop me off here. Wang Yizhang was surprised. Yang, aren't you going home? N.I. Yang smiled lightly. I have some stuff to do, I won't be going home just yet. You and grandfather Wang can go first. Alright then Yang, take care, we'll go first. Wang Yizhang said. N.I. Yang waved goodbye to them. Goodbye, grandfathers. Goodbye. N.I. Yang arrived at the Xinhua bookstore, bought a few basic English textbooks, and picked up some English tapes, along with a tape recorder. At that time the tape recorder was portable but bulky and extremely expensive. A tape recorder would cost 38 yuan, which was nearly a month's wage for some people. Most families couldn't afford it. After leaving Xinhua bookstore, Anai Yang went to the vegetable market to buy some vegetables. She was a regular customer of the vegetable stall owner. This time she bought over 500 kilograms of vegetables, and the stall owner would directly deliver them to her doorstep. After all, 500 kilograms of vegetables cost 25 yuan. Usually, even half a month's sale wouldn't total up to that. Following this, Anai Yang also bought some beef and mutton before heading home. When she arrived home, the vegetables had already been delivered by the stall owner. Anai Tsuehua and a few other village women were washing the vegetables. The vegetables were to make pickles. Anai Tsuehua alone couldn't finish washing over 500 kilograms of it, so each time they bought vegetables for pickling, temporary laborers were hired from the village to help. Temporary labor cost 2 yuan a day and everyone was very eager to work. After washing the vegetables, Anai Yang handed the tape recorder and English books she bought to Anai Tsuehua. "Mom, these are for you." "What's this?" Anai Tsuehua was a bit curious. "These are English textbooks and a tape recorder to help you learn English." Anai Yang responded. Anai Tsuehua was amazed. "So this is a tape recorder. How do you use it?" "He'll show you." Anai Yang plugged in the recorder, inserted a tape, and soon a standard American English accent flowed from the recorder. Chapter 572, Insane Slapping. _4. You speak so well. Anai Tsuehua flipped open her English book to the first unit, starting to learn alongside. As Anai Tsuehua had spent some time in M country, her pronunciation was quite accurate, and the English book that Anai Yen bought contained Chinese explanations, which made learning easier for Anai Tsuehua. With a smile, Anai Yen said, "Mom, your English is great. You don't need to worry about the household chores anymore, just focus on learning English." Learning another language was not a bad thing for Anai Tsuehua. Anai Tsuehua said, "There's not much to do around the house. I can learn and work at the same time. Studying won't delay anything." When Anai Tsuehua was learning English, little Anai Yun was also mimicking behind her, making babbling sounds. Quite expressive indeed. Time flew quickly and soon it was the beginning of the month. Today was the day when Li Ronghua was invited to her boyfriend's house. Her boyfriend's name was Zhou Wenhua. True to his name, he was a man of education. Although he had to retake university several times before finally getting in, at least he managed to graduate from a second-tier school. In this era, second-tier university graduates were rare, and they were guaranteed a stable job after graduation. Perhaps it was not exaggerating to consider him the golden phoenix in her family. Zhou Wenhua was always the pride of Li Ronghua. Though she didn't even graduate from junior high school, but her boyfriend was really something. Last week, Zhou Wenhua went to Guangguan for a trip. He was arriving today, so Li Ronghua purposely rode ahead to the train station, ready to pick him up. Li Ronghua had waited at the exit for a long time but didn't see Zhou Wenhua. Suddenly something caught her eye. If the man in the denim jacket and jeans wasn't her boyfriend, who else could it be? "Wenhua. Over here. Over here." Li Ronghua waved her hands frantically, yelling excitedly. Perhaps it was Li Ronghua's overpowering shouts, or perhaps it was her overtly enthusiastic gestures that caused the girl walking beside Zhou Wenhua to subtly let go of Zhou's wrist and distanced herself from him. The previously vibrant smile on Zhou Wenhua's face stiffened instantly. "Why are you here?" Zhou Wenhua asked as he approached Li Ronghua. Li Ronghua replied with a grin, "I came specifically to pick you up. How is it? Are you surprised and touched?" Zhou Wenhua frustratingly rubbed his temples. "Li Ronghua, you're over 20. You're not a child anymore. Can you please stop acting so immature? Aren't you annoyed with yourself?" In Zhou Wenhua's eyes, Li Ronghua was nothing but a nuisance. Not only was her education lacking, but her fiery temper was unbearable. She could quarrel for lengthy periods over 1 or 2 cents, arguing until she was red in the face. She was even more uncivilized than the uncouth. That wasn't even the worst part. What truly disappointed Zhou Wenhua was that, after a hard struggle, he finally managed to secure a factory job for Li Ronghua through a friend. But instead of taking it, Li Ronghua decided to work for an individual proprietor. Telling others about it was almost shameful. How could he have fallen for someone like this? "Sorry, Wenhua, I didn't mean to cause you trouble. I just wanted to surprise you." It wasn't on purpose. In front of Zhou Wenhua, Li Ronghua held back her spirited nature, becoming as timid and awkward as a child. Because she truly loved Zhou Wenhua. Deeply loved him. A love that seemed beyond cure. Zhou Wenhua frowned in disgust. Never mind, just don't try to be smart next time. At his words, Li Ronghua immediately broke into a joyous smile. Okay. I promise. By the way, Wenhua, is that comrade a classmate of yours? Was she scared off by me just now? When Li Ronghua first spotted Zhou Wenhua, she was so excited that she didn't notice the two of them holding hands. Zhou Wenhua replied, her name is Su Ziqin, a university classmate of mine. As he said this, Zhou Wenhua waved towards Su Ziqin over here. Su Ziqin was a city girl with an extraordinary aura. Her hair was tied in 2 long braids, she wore a floral dress and black high heels were on her feet. Ziqin, this is Li Ronghua, Zhou Wenhua introduced. Su Ziqin smiled at Li Ronghua, reaching out her hand. Hello comrade Li Ronghua, I've heard about you from Wenhua. Today I finally meet you. You're even prettier than what Wenhua described. Indeed, Li Ronghua was pretty, but compared to Su Ziqin she lacked self-confidence. She seemed very timid. Standing before university-educated Su Ziqin, Li Ronghua felt immensely inferior. She reached out and shook Su's hand. Hello. Wenhua told me you're a year older than me. Can I call you Sister Ronghua? Su Ziqin was more approachable than Li Ronghua had imagined. Chapter 573, Insane Slapping. _5. Sure. Li Ronghua nodded. Sister Ronghua, you call Wenhua by his name, you can call me Ziqin too. Su Ziqin continued. Seeing Su Ziqin being so gentle, Li Ronghua relaxed quite a bit. What does she have to feel inferior about? Although she didn't go to college, but her boyfriend did, didn't he? The three of them walked out of the train station together. Zhou Wenhua handed their luggage to Li Ronghua. You go to my house by bike alone. We will go by taxi. Wenhua, I can take you on my bike. Li Ronghua hadn't grasped what was happening yet. Zhou Wenhua followed up with, Ziqin is also going. Oh, I see. Li Ronghua finally understood and gave Zhou Wenhua a knowing glance. Zhou Wenhua, who had been with Li Ronghua for such a long time, still had some mutual understanding. He walked over to Li Ronghua and impatiently said, What's wrong? Li Ronghua pulled Zhou Wenhua aside and whispered, Wenhua, do you have money for the taxi? How embarrassing it would be to ride with a female classmate and not have money. I have money. Stop worrying about me. Zhou Wenhua hated her bearing the look of offering alms. Perhaps he had forgotten that the money for the trip to Guangguan was quietly provided by Li Ronghua. Without Li Ronghua he might not even have money for a repeater tuition. Wenhua, I know you're worried about me not having money to spend. Rest assured I have money. Li Ronghua stuffed a big yuan note into Zhou Wenhua's pocket. Anger was evident in Zhou Wenhua's eyes. Right at this moment, Su Ziqin picked up a suitcase and spoke up. Wenhua, I just remembered my mom is awaiting my return home. I'll have to visit your place next time. Having said that, Su Ziqin turned around with her suitcase and left. Zhou Wenhua instantly chased after her. Ziqin. Su Ziqin looked back and said, Wenhua, go home with Sister Ronghua first. I'm fine, I can visit your home at any time during the summer vacation. But I hope you can handle things with Sister Ronghua soon. So I'll be off. With no choice left, Zhou Wenhua had to let Su Ziqin leave first. Li Ronghua caught up from behind. Strange. Why did Ziqin leave? Zhou Wenhua frowned. This is all because of you. If not for Li Ronghua, would Su Ziqin have left? Li Ronghua immediately apologized. I'm sorry Wenhua, I embarrassed you in front of your classmate. I promise, this will never happen again. Zhou Wenhua also greatly disliked Li Ronghua's groveling attitude. Such lowliness is inherent to people of her status. They can never elevate their position. Let's go. Zhou Wenhua strode forward. Li Ronghua quickly matched his pace. Zhou Wenhua's home was located in the city. Their house was given to them by the factory. It seemed in better condition than Li Ronghua's house by a lot. As soon as they knocked, Zhou Wenhua's mother, Wang Meng, and father Zhou Guikai, fervently came out to greet them. Wenhua is back. If Ni Yang were present, she would certainly recognize that this Wang Meng was the same aunt she met at the airport that day. And that girl who was hopelessly devoted was indeed Li Ronghua. Mom, Dad. Uncle Zhou, Auntie Zhou, Li Ronghua followed, calling them from behind. Zhou Wenhua's parents outright ignored Li Ronghua. Glancing behind Zhou Wenhua, their faces suddenly fell. Wenhua, why isn't Ziqin with you? Zhou Wenhua brusquely replied. She couldn't come due to some sudden matters. Why couldn't she come? Wang Meng anxiously exclaimed. Didn't she say on the phone that she was coming today? Did your childish antics make her angry? This child, how could you upset Ziqin? Only Su Ziqin could become Wang Meng's ideal daughter-in-law. Not only was she a college student, she also came from a good background with parents who were top leaders at the factory. Zhou Wenhua and her were undoubtedly a perfect match. She's much stronger than Li Ronghua by countless folds. Li Ronghua immediately admitted her mistake. I'm sorry, auntie, it wasn't Wenhua's fault. It was all my fault. Ziqin was originally going to come. The fault was hers from the start. She couldn't let Zhou Wenhua take the blame for her. Upon hearing this, Wang Meiying was immediately enraged. Just about to burst out with a torrent of abuse, Zhou Guikai, the head of the family, said, "If she didn't come, she didn't come. Come on in. Don't stand outside." At the same time, Zhou Guikai subtly pulled Wang Meiying's hand. Only then did Wang Meiying suppress her anger. In the living room, the food was already set on the table. The dishes were very rich, with braised pork, roasted duck and chicken soup, all filling the table. Li Ronghua was very pleased, as this spread revealed how much the Zhou family valued her. "Is everyone here? Can we start eating?" A girl around 12 or 13 years old came out of the inner room. This was Zhou Wenhua's younger sister, Zhou Xiuzhen. Wang Meiying vented obliquely, "Eat, eat, eat. All you know is to eat. Why don't you drop dead from overeating?" Zhou Xiuzhen didn't care, looked around the room and asked curiously, "Did Sister Zijin not come?" Zhou Wenhua replied, "Your sister Zijin had something come up last minute. She'll come visit our home another day." Zhou Xiuzhen nodded her head, somewhat regretful. "Then the meal Mom made today, isn't it wasted?" Little did they know, this meal was specially prepared for Su Zijin, the future daughter-in-law of Wang Meiying. Unexpectedly, Li Ronghua took advantage of it. Before she could finish, Zhou Xiuzhen braked in time and quickly changed her tune to say, "Mom's cooking today smells delightful. All of it was made for Sister Ronghua, so you must eat more later on." Li Ronghua, slightly embarrassed, replied, "Oh, you're being too kind, auntie." Inside, Zhou Xiuzhen secretly thought that Li Ronghua was being really foolish, but she said out loud, "It's because you're an honored guest, Sister Ronghua." Her words left Li Ronghua flushing even more. As people gathered around to have a meal, Li Ronghua took a big chicken leg. Seeing Li Ronghua take the drumstick, Wang Meiying was seething inside. This glutton. Shameless. Always picking the best food. Showing no consideration at all. The next moment, Li Ronghua put the drumstick into Zhou Wenhua's bowl. "Wenhua, you must be tired from studying so much. Have this drumstick to replenish your strength." Knowing that the Zhou family wasn't well off, each time she visited, Li Ronghua would eat pickles and left the delicious dishes for others whenever she could. After seeing this, Wang Meiying felt a bit relieved. After the meal, Li Ronghua quietly went to Zhou Wenhua's room. Zhou Wenhua, not knowing what she was working quietly on at the desk, was startled when he saw Li Ronghua come in. He chided her, "How many times have I told you to knock first before entering? Do you even know what personal privacy means?" That's just how Li Ronghua was. Uneducated, without worldly wisdom, it was all in vain telling her. Li Ronghua smiled. "Wenhua, we are dating, why are you still talking about privacy? Besides, what were you writing just now?" Because of love, she could tolerate all of Zhou Wenhua's shortcomings. Zhou Wenhua closed his notebook, repulsion evident in his eyes. "Even if I told you, would you understand? An illiterate who hadn't even finished junior high school." Li Ronghua giggled. "Wenhua, don't be mad. Look at this, it's a gift I specifically asked my boss to bring back from M country for you." Li Ronghua took out a black and white box. The box was marked with a line of English letters, Parker. "Is this a Parker fountain pen?" Zhou Wenhua seemed incredibly excited. A Parker fountain pen costs over 200 yuan. 2 students in his class already own one. If he could use one too, it would be such a display of prestige. Seeing Zhou Wenhua's delight, Li Ronghua was also overjoyed. "Yes, it's a Parker fountain pen. Wenhua, do you like it?" Chapter 574. You really are a good child. _1 Zhou Wenhua did not respond to Li Ronghua's words. Instead, he ripped open the box that contained the pen. "It's a Parker pen. It's really a Parker pen." Zhou Wenhua was thrilled. He hugged Li Ronghua tightly, saying, "Ronghua, thank you. I love you." Zhou Wenhua was only this enthusiastic towards Li Ronghua when he received a gift that he had been longing for. Li Ronghua, a bit embarrassed, pushed Zhou Wenhua away. "Wenhua, what are you doing? Stop being cheeky. You should check out the pen first. I'm going to go see if Andy needs any help." The couple had been seeing each other for a few years now, yet they hadn't engaged in any overly intimate behaviors. This made Li Ronghua feel a little uncomfortable. Upon entering the living room, Li Ronghua saw Wang Meiying sitting on the sofa, picking her teeth. Upon seeing Li Ronghua approach, she immediately yelled at Zhou Xiuzhen, "You lazy bum! Why haven't you done the dishes yet? All you do is eat and laze around. Li Ronghua, seemingly oblivious to the hidden meaning in Wang Meiying's words, quickly replied, Auntie Xiuzhen is still young, let me do the dishes. Wang Meiying forced a fake smile. Oh Ronghua, that would be such a nuisance for you, what a good child you are. It's no hassle. What's so hard about washing dishes? Li Ronghua immediately headed to the kitchen to start washing the dishes. The stove was piled with dishes, some from the morning. Humming a small tune, Li Ronghua efficiently washed the dishes. For her this was nothing. Because here there were people she loved and people who loved her. Besides, how many daughters-in-law wouldn't have to wash dishes at their in-law's home? Sister-in-law, Zhou Xiuzhen cheerfully walked in from outside speaking warmly. Sister-in-law, you're washing dishes? Can I help you? Li Ronghua, a bit embarrassed, said, Don't go calling me that. Zhou Xiuzhen replied, Anyway, you're going to be my sister-in-law sooner or later. Plus, I only call you that when others aren't around. Sister-in-law, let me help you. It's too much for you to do alone. Li Ronghua laughed, It's okay, you can go out and play. Zhou Xiuzhen looked at Li Ronghua wanting to say something but stopping herself. Humming her tune, Li Ronghua didn't notice Zhou Xiaoxin's strange behavior. Zhou Xiuzhen pouted. What's going on with Li Ronghua today? Could it be that she didn't notice her unusual behavior? Since Li Ronghua remained silent, Zhou Xiuzhen had no choice but to speak up. Sister-in-law, I need your help with something. What is it? Li Ronghua glanced at her. Zhou Xiuzhen continued, Sister-in-law, could you lend me some money? To Zhou Xiuzhen, Li Ronghua was like a walking ATM. Just like a fool, she could be easily tricked every time. Of course. Li Ronghua wiped her hands on her apron and without hesitation, pulled out some coins from her pocket and gave them to Zhou Xiuzhen. Here you go. The coins were all pennies and dimes, the largest of which was only 3 cents. Added together, they didn't even amount to 30 cents. Zhou Xiuzhen complained somewhat contemptuously, Isn't this too little? Sister-in-law, could you give me some more? Li Ronghua said, What does a kid like you need so much money for? Sister-in-law, please, you're my own sister-in-law. I'm not asking for much, just 2 yuan will do. Zhou Xiuzhen was Zhou Wenhua's only sister and her future sister-in-law. Naturally, she couldn't offend her future sister-in-law. Li Ronghua nodded, All right, I'll give it to you. You're the best sister-in-law. Zhou Xiuzhen was very happy. After taking the money, Zhou Xiuzhen ran out of the kitchen. Once Li Ronghua had finished the dishes and left the kitchen, Wang Meiying instructed Zhou Xiuzhen to do the laundry. In the end, the person doing the laundry turned out to be Li Ronghua. The laundry had been piling up for days. By the time Li Ronghua had finished washing the laundry, it was already past 5 in the afternoon. Uncle, Auntie, it's getting late, I should go home. Chapter 575, Extremely Proud, Comparison, One More, _1 Wang Meiying feigned politeness and said, Ronghua, let Wenhua take you home. No need, Li Ronghua refused, Wenhua is reading. We better not disturb him. Wang Meiying smiled and said, Ronghua, you're such a good kid. Li Ronghua, slightly embarrassed, said, I'm just doing what I should do. With that said, Li Ronghua left on his bike. Watching Li Ronghua's retreating figure, Wang Meiying spat on the ground and muttered, Pa, what a piece of trash. A shameless beggar. After Li Ronghua left, Zhou Wenhua emerged from the room. He had been pretending to read to avoid Li Ronghua. Zhou Guikai and Wang Meiying were sitting at the table. Zhou Wenhua resumed, Mom, Dad, I want to break up with Li Ronghua as soon as possible. Why? Zhou Guikai asked, surprised. Impatient, Wang Meiying asked, Did Zijin ask you to break up as soon as possible? In reality, Su Ziqin was already with Zhou Wenhua. Zhou's parents were very pleased with their prospective daughter-in-law. Zhou Wenhua continued, Zijin understands me. She also sympathizes with Li Ronghua and agrees to give me time to handle this. But I just can't stand it anymore. Every minute with Li Ronghua is torture. He had nothing in common with Li Ronghua. When he said one thing, Li Ronghua could manage to twist it to something else. Sometimes her responses were entirely unrelated. He was really fed up. No way, you can't break up with Li Ronghua for the time being. Zhou Guikai spoke up. Right, I don't agree either. Why? Zhou Wenhua looked at his parents incredulously. Mom, Dad, don't you dislike Li Ronghua too? Yes, we certainly don't like Li Ronghua. Zhou Guikai nodded. Impatiently, Zhou Wenhua asked, Then why won't you let me break up with her? The sooner he broke up, the sooner he'd be free. Because of Li Ronghua, he couldn't openly introduce Su Zijin to others. He could only say that Su Zijin was his classmate, which resulted in Su Zijin suffering a lot. Wang Meiying continued, you and Zijin are dating, eating, going to the movies, buying clothes, doesn't all of that cost money? You certainly can't use Zijin's money. Our income is not substantial, and with your brother and sister still studying, when you really break up with Li Ronghua, where will the money come from? To their family, Li Ronghua was like a free ATM. Without Li Ronghua, their life wouldn't be as comfortable. Regardless of the job Li Ronghua was doing, she gave all her money to their family without reserving a cent for herself. Sometimes, Li Ronghua would even give money from her own parents to Zhou Wenhua. Zhou Wenhua frowned. Am I supposed to rely on a woman to support me? Zhou Wenhua was poor but proud. He didn't want to be tagged as one living off a woman. If his classmates heard about it, how would he save face? Zhou Guikai glanced at Zhou Wenhua. Now is not the time for you to act bravely. There are countless examples of men having multiple wives in ancient times. If a woman is willing to give you money, that's because of your own ability. Hearing this, Wang Meiying immediately echoed, exactly. Your father is absolutely right. Does the guy next door, Guzi, have such ability? I've heard from the matchmaker. His mother introduced him to so many girls, not one of them liked him. When Wang Meiying said this, she appeared extremely proud. Could she not be proud of having such a capable son? Not everyone had the fortune to have such a capable son. Zhou Wenhua's vanity was slowly filled by his parents' words. Yes. Li Ronghua willingly gave him money, but he had never asked her for a cent. As for the money that came unasked, why wouldn't he accept it? Zhou Wenhua nodded, fine, I'll listen to you. But mom and dad, dragging this on forever isn't viable either, it's not fair to Zijin. Su Ziqin was an innocent young girl, she couldn't just blindly follow him around. Like this. Wang Meiying's eyes twinkled, he'll think of a way for you. So you can have money to spend and also break up with Li Ronghua. Deal? The courtyard of the Ni family. In the evening, the courtyard was filled with the rich aroma of food, and the house was filled with laughter. After these days of hard study, Suehua had managed to learn quite a lot of English. At the moment, she was practicing English conversation with Yang Yang. Qingguo said with a smile, Yang Yang's mom, you're amazing. It seems that I should learn from you. Suehua humbly replied, oh come on, I'm just doing it for fun. Qingguo continued, I'm just joking around, if I actually had to do this, I definitely wouldn't have the patience. She was over 40. Where would she have the mood to study this? She didn't have the steadfastness and perseverance of Suehua. Suehua was the kind of person who thirsted for knowledge and was very smart. Qingguo continued, Yang Yang's mom, you never wanted to go to school when you were younger. If you had, you would have gone to university a long time ago. Also, Suehua had a certain quality about her that was not ordinary, perhaps it was because of her years living as a peasant woman, it had concealed this quality. After coming to Beijing, as she broadened her horizons, the concealed quality slowly began to emerge. Now you could hardly see any trace of her past in Suehua. If you were to say that she was the rich daughter of a wealthy family, people would believe it. Suehua chuckled and said, Sister Qingge, you sure know how to flatter. How am I as brilliant as you say? You're much smarter than I am. The two started to exchange compliments. Over at the Li family. When Li Ronghua came back, the Li family were having dinner. Han Xiaoqin looked at Li Ronghua. Ronghua, how did your visit to Wenhua's go today? What did his parents say? What did they say? Li Ronghua looked at Han Xiaoqin with some confusion. Han Xiaoqin just spread it out and said, Ronghua, you and Wenhua are not getting any younger, especially for girls of your age who can't afford to wait. What did Wenhua's parents say? When do they plan to come and propose? Han Xiaoqin was quite satisfied with Zhou Wenhua as a son-in-law. After all, Zhou Wenhua was a college student. From any perspective, Li Ronghua was marrying above her class. Li Ronghua was already 22 this year. In the countryside, she would be considered an old maid. Usually at her age they would already have several kids. If she doesn't get married soon, she will not get married at all. However, the Zhou family hadn't shown any signs of coming to propose. This made Han Xiaoqin a bit anxious. Li Ronghua wasn't worried about this problem. She laughed and said, Mom, don't worry about nothing. Wenhua is only a sophomore this year. He would at least wait until he graduates from college before discussing our relationship. 2 years later? Asked Han Xiaoqin surprised. 2 years later you will be 24. Which girl who didn't study makes it to 24 without getting married? If the Zhou family doesn't want you by then, you'll have nowhere to go and cry. Li Ronghua said laughingly, Wenhua is not that kind of person. She had known Zhou Wenhua for so long, she firmly believed his character. Han Xiaoqin said, back then Qin Xianglian also didn't believe that Qin Shimi was an ungrateful man who abandoned his wife and children. But what happened in the end? What was Qin Xianglian's fate? Li Ronghua helplessly replied, Mom, you're going off track. How can you compare Wenhua with Chen Shimi? People are hard to read. I think Zhou Wenhua might not be such a good guy. Gooden chimed in. Gooden really didn't like Zhou Wenhua. He always felt that Zhou Wenhua was a bit dismissive of their family. Every time he came, he would refuse even a sip of water, acting as if he was some kind of golden phoenix. And yet his parents and sister really liked him. Li Ronghua glared at Gooden. Go away. What do you, a child, know about this? What Zhou Wenhua? Is Zhou Wenhua a name you can say? He's your future brother-in-law. Gooden shook his head. Li Ronghua, if only you were half as smart as Sister and I Yang, then I wouldn't have to worry. Li Ronghua couldn't be bothered with Gooden. Gooden continued, just look at the boyfriend that Sister and I Yang is dating, he's so good. Every time he comes, he does chores for her family, washing dishes, installing pipes, he even dug a ditch for her last time. But look at Zhou Wenhua, what has he ever done for us? Every time he comes, he's so picky. Chapter 576. Can't lag behind, 2 more updates. _1 Gooden is a child. His perspective did not encompass the complexity and apprehensions that adults possess. Hence, he sees things more clearly and transparently. Li Ronghua said, your brother-in-law is an intellectual, he is destined to have a stable job, to work in an office. How could he do such grueling work? Gooden retorted, but Xiaomo's family is rich. How could Zhou Wenhua's family compare to Xiaomo's? Hearing this, Han Xiaoqin and Gooden's father's expressions changed. No one had mentioned this before and they had not felt anything. But now that Gooden has mentioned it, it seems like Zhou Wenhua does look down on their family. Gooden's dad exhaled a puff of dry smoke. Xiaomo is indeed an exceptional child. Each time he sees us, he is always polite. Zhou Wenhua, whenever he sees people from the village, it's as if he wishes he could hold his head high in the clouds, let alone offer a greeting. Li Ronghua disagreed. Different people have different personalities. Wenhua is not a talkative person by nature. Han Xiaoqin frowned, then said, Ronghua, you should go talk to Wenhua's family about this matter tomorrow. If they do not show some sincerity, let them pay back all the money that you have subsidized for him over the years, and let's just forget about you too. Li Ronghua is beautiful. There's no worry that she won't be able to get married. Why should she have to stick to Zhou Wenhua? Gooden's dad added, your mom is right. If their family is not sincere about this, let's drop it. No way. How could this be possible? Wenhua is only a sophomore this year, aren't you all intentionally making things difficult for him? Mom, Dad, how could you? Li Ronghua was extremely unhappy with her parents' decision. Your dad and I are doing this for your own good. Han Xiaoqin continued. Gooden is right. I suspect that Zhou Wenhua does look down on our family. Otherwise, he would not have been so indifferent all these years without giving you a title. As for their parents, they haven't even shown their faces from beginning to end. I don't think they value you at all. I don't want to argue with you. Li Ronghua slammed down her chopsticks and stormed into the house in a huff. Look at this child. You've spoiled her. What a temper. Han Xiaoqin looked at Gooden's dad, her face filled with anger. They didn't discriminate between men and women in their family, and since Li Ronghua was the only daughter, she had been inevitably spoiled a bit more. The reason Li Ronghua didn't continue her studies wasn't because her parents wouldn't let her. It was entirely because she didn't want to. Gooden's dad sighed, let's just let her be. The next morning, Li Ronghua went to work without having breakfast. And Yang just happened to be free today and came to help at the noodle restaurant. The business in the noodle restaurant was as good as ever. Ever since it opened, there has never been a shortage of people waiting in line. Let me tell you, the pickled fish noodles here are so delicious. They'll treat us today. Really? Absolutely. This voice sounds familiar. And Yang looked up. Isn't this the 2 aunts I met at the airport last time? And Yang squinted, walked into the kitchen, brought out the camera and placed it on the windowsill. The lens was pointed directly at their table. Li Ronghua is a good girl and a good employee. And Yang didn't want her to be deceived. Although he is not sure whether or not this woman is Li Ronghua's boyfriend's mother, and Yang does not want to miss the opportunity for Li Ronghua to see the truth. After he had put the camera on the windowsill, and Yang came over to the table, may I ask, what would you two like to eat? Wang Meiying said, 2 bowls of pickled fish noodles, please. All right. And Yang nodded, please wait for a moment. When Yang brought the noodles to the table, Wang Meiying had already started boasting. She praised Zhou Wenhua to the skies. What counts as Li Ronghua? Li Ronghua couldn't even compare to a pile of dog poo. Daqiang's mom, let me tell you. Each time that girl comes over, she's always washing dishes and clothes. You can't even stop her. She even frequently gives my daughter pocket money. Really? Doc Yang's mom found it hard to believe. Was there really such a masochistic young girl in this world? Even though Zhou Wenhua is a college student, surely he wouldn't have such burning feelings toward her? With satisfaction, Wang Meiying said, "What do you mean, true or not? It just happened the day before yesterday. I even invited you to my house to visit, but you didn't come. If you had come, you would have definitely seen her behaving like a lapdog." Doc Yangzi's mother said, "When I have time, I'll definitely come to visit your home." Wang Meiying continued, "However, you may not see it in the future." Why? Doc Yangzi's mother was somewhat puzzled. Other families would beg to marry a bride, but the Zhou family is peculiar. They push away a bride-to-be who comes to their doorstep. The ones in the drought would be parched to death and those in the flood drowned. Because my son doesn't fancy such common girls who throw themselves at him. She's just working for a small business, while my son is a university graduate. Their social statuses are mismatching. To tell you the truth, my son now has a girlfriend who is on par with him, also a university student. Not only is she a pretty girl and a university student, but her parents are also high-ranking officials in the factory. Once my son graduates, he will become a leader in their factory. Doc Yangzi's mother asked, "So, are you saying Zhou Wenhua will break up with that girl?" "Yes," Wang Meiying said, brimming with pride. Doc Yangzi's mother sighed, "The benefit of education is undeniable. Doc Yangzi is even 2 years older than your Wenhua, yet is still single." After finishing their noodles, the two sat at the table for nearly half an hour, all the time praising Zhou Wenhua. After they left, Yang put away his camera. Li Ronghua's mood was somewhat complicated, and on top of that she hadn't eaten breakfast, hence she felt a bit off. But when customers came, she still perked up. Icy Skin Jade is a high-end skincare product. Although there are not many customers, once a deal is struck, the transaction amount is usually around 100 yuan. Thanks to Li Ronghua's excellent selling skills, she managed to get 500 yuan in transactions just this morning. Add in commission and such, she makes more than 200 yuan in addition to her 300 yuan salary each month. "Sister Ronghua, there's a guy out there looking for you. Is he your boyfriend?" One of the employees walked over to Li Ronghua. Another employee giggled, "Sister Ronghua, your boyfriend is so handsome." Li Ronghua asked in surprise, "Really? Really?" Li Ronghua rushed to the entrance and indeed saw Zhou Wenhua standing there. "Wenhua." Li Ronghua was beyond joy and surprise. Zhou Wenhua is a university student and has always looked down on her job, so Li Ronghua was surprised that Zhou Wenhua would actually come to see her. Perhaps that's what love is. "Li Ronghua, this is for you." Zhou Wenhua handed Li Ronghua a paper bag. "Wow. Stinky tofu." Li Ronghua thanked him joyfully. "Thank you, Wenhua." Indeed, there were stinky tofu in the bag. Li Ronghua was keen on these things that most people found distasteful. Even the food she liked was lowbrow. Zhou Wenhua looked down on it but smiled and said, "You still have to thank me? By the way, when are you off work?" "Not for a while," Li Ronghua replied. "Wenhua, you didn't come to pick me up from work, did you?" Zhou Wenhua nodded and then asked, "Is this shop selling skincare products?" "Yes." Zhou Wenhua continued, "Does your shop have a special magical whitening moisturizer?" "Yes." Li Ronghua was touched. For her sake, Zhou Wenhua had paid such attention to her work. For a man to remember the skincare products a woman uses, it's truly not easy. Zhou Wenhua continued, "Give me a bottle of whitening moisturizer." Li Ronghua paused, then asked, "What would a man need whitening moisturizer for? Do you want to give it to your mother?" "If it's for Auntie, I think wrinkle cream would be better." "It's for Zijin. Her birthday is the day after tomorrow." Earlier, when Zhou Wenhua was out shopping with Su Ziqin, they accidentally stumbled upon one of the branches of Icy Skin Jade. Zhou Wenhua had queued up with Su Ziqin for a long time at that time, but unfortunately, they didn't get the whitening moisturizer that Su Ziqin wanted. Therefore, Zhou Wenhua wanted to give Su Ziqin a surprise on her birthday. Li Ronghua trusted Zhou Wenhua completely. Hearing that he wanted to give Su Ziqin the whitening moisturizer, she didn't think too much of it, taking it as a normal social interaction. Even though she didn't go to university, she knew that it was very important to build connections in the university. She couldn't afford to be Zhou Wenhua's deadweight. Chapter 577. To buy whitening moisturizing cream, third update, _1 Li Ronghua continued, "The whitening moisturizer for this month is sold out. If you want to buy it, you have to wait until the 5th. Wenhua, would you mind if I get it for you on the 5th? Zhou Wenhua did not directly answer Li Ronghua's words but instead asked, what date is the day after tomorrow? It's the 3rd. Li Ronghua replied. Zhou Wenhua countered, then do you think it's acceptable for you to bring it to me on the 5th? Li Ronghua, do you think I can't afford it and are purposely trying to embarrass me? No, I'm not. Wenhua, how could you think that of me? Li Ronghua hurriedly explained, the whitening moisturizer is extremely popular. It's snatched up as soon as it hits the shelves each month. If you give me some time, I'll see if I can find a workaround. Really? Zhou Wenhua's expression slightly softened. Li Ronghua continued, wait for me here. Then hurry up. Zhou Wenhua appeared impatient. Li Ronghua turned around and went inside the store. Xiaohe. What's wrong, Sister Ronghua? Xiaohe put down the aloe gel in her hand and walked over to Li Ronghua. Li Ronghua continued, Xiaohe, did you buy a bottle of whitening moisturizer last month? Yes, Xiaohe nodded. Why? Li Ronghua grabbed Ziahe's hand. Xiaohe, dear sister, can you do me a favor? Xiaohe was taken aback then said, what favor? Sister Ronghua, just tell me directly. Li Ronghua continued, dear, could you let your sister have that bottle of whitening moisturizer? I really need it. Well, Xiaohe hesitated. Although they are in-house employees, getting the whitening moisturizer is also quite difficult, requiring them to queue and reserve like regular customers. If every employee took advantage of their internal resources to stockpile goods and sell them at high prices, wouldn't that create chaos? Xiaohe, my dear sister, please help me? Li Ronghua pleaded, I'm willing to give you my entire month's commission. What was a mere month's commission to her when she was willing to give up everything for Zhou Wenhua? This proposal tempted Xiaohe. After all, Li Ronghua's monthly commission was quite considerable. And Li Ronghua was the store manager, essentially a leader. She didn't want to offend Li Ronghua. Xiaohe continued, Sister Ronghua, we're colleagues. If you really want it, just give me half a month's commission. Really? Li Ronghua asked, surprised. Yes. Xiaohe continued, I'll go get you the whitening moisturizer. Thank you, Xiaohe. You're really like my own sister. Li Ronghua was extremely excited. She was also overjoyed that she could help Zhou Wenhua. Shortly after, Xiaohe came out with the whitening moisturizer. Li Ronghua took the whitening moisturizer. Xiaohe, things are a bit tight for me this month, can I pay you when I get my salary in the middle of the month? The whitening moisturizer costs 125 yuan a bottle. Li Ronghua had used all this month's salary to help Zhou Wenhua. She had just spent 200 yuan on a single fountain pen. Where would she get the money to pay Xiaohe? Xiaohe laughed, it's alright, wait till the middle of the month. I'm not dependent on this money. Li Ronghua was the store manager here, so she wasn't worried about her running away. Li Ronghua came back outside with the whitening moisturizer in hand. Zhou Wenhua impatiently said, why did it take so long to come out? If you didn't want to do it, you should have just said so. There's no need to jerk me around like this. Li Ronghua immediately apologized. I'm sorry, Wenhua, it wasn't intentional. Erase your whitening moisturizer. Despite the groveling in front of Zhou Wenhua that felt deep to her bones, she didn't understand that a flower can never bloom out of dust. Zhou Wenhua took the moisturizer and asked, do you have money on you right now? This was the first time Zhou Wenhua had asked Li Ronghua for money up front. In the past, it had always been Li Ronghua voluntarily offering money to Zhou Wenhua. Hearing this, Li Ronghua quickly checked her pockets. Pulling out the only bill she had, she handed it to Zhou Wenhua. Here, this is for you. That's it. Zhou Wenhua slightly frowned. Li Ronghua, are you worried I won't pay you back later? Relax, once I graduate and start working, I'll repay you every cent. He was just temporarily broke. How petty of Li Ronghua. What can you do with 10 yuan? Li Ronghua replied, I only have this much on me now, how much do you need, Wenhua? Thinking of his mother's words, Zhou Wenhua said, I need 1,000. 1,000? Li Ronghua was taken aback. Wenhua, why do you need so much money? This is her salary for 4 months. She doesn't have that much money right now. Zhou Wenhua impatiently said, this is between us university students, you wouldn't understand even if I explained. Li Ronghua bit her lip, can your uncle and aunt help? My parents are getting on in years and my younger siblings need to go to school. How could you expect me to ask them for money? Li Ronghua, if you don't want to give me money, just say it outright. Why beat around the bush and insult people? Wenhua, don't be angry. I didn't mean that, Li Ronghua said, I will go back and figure something out. When do you need it by? Li Ronghua's father is currently renovating a restaurant for Ni Yang. Han Xiaoqin works in Ni Yang's noodle restaurant, and there are many aloe vera roses growing at home. Their income is quite optimistic, so it shouldn't be difficult to put together 1,000 yuan. Tomorrow, Zhou Wenhua replied. Wang Meiying has planned for him. As soon as he gets this 1,000 yuan, he will find an appropriate opportunity to break up with Li Ronghua. He's had enough of this life. Li Ronghua, an illiterate, is entirely unsuitable for him. As for the money, Li Ronghua gave it to him willingly. He never forced her. Li Ronghua nodded. He'll deliver it to your school tomorrow after work. Although Zhou Wenhua is on summer vacation, he's staying at the university due to their lack of space at home. He'll come and get it. Zhou Wenhua wouldn't let Li Ronghua come to his school. If his classmates found out he had such a girlfriend, how embarrassing would it be? You're so tired from studying every day, let me deliver it to you. Zhou Wenhua frowned and said, if I say it's not necessary, it's not necessary. Why are you so annoying? Fearing that she would upset Zhou Wenhua further, Li Ronghua immediately said, Okay, I won't go. When a woman is in love, she won't think that Zhou Wenhua was afraid of being embarrassed by her. Instead, she felt that Zhou Wenhua was being considerate, not wanting her to make the trip. Thinking this, Li Ronghua's heart filled with sweetness as if she had eaten honey. I'm going now, Zhou Wenhua said next. Let me see you out. Li Ronghua followed Zhou Wenhua's footsteps. No need go back, Zhou Wenhua said, his eyes filled with disdain. Wenhua, don't worry. I'll only walk a little bit, everything's fine at the store. Communicating with an illiterate person is exhausting. Zhou Wenhua took a deep breath, his eyes filled with impatience. After seeing Zhou Wenhua off to the mall, Li Ronghua returned to the store. After getting the brightening moisturizer, Zhou Wenhua immediately rushed to curry favor with Su Ziqin. When she got home from work, Li Ronghua discussed the matter of the 1,000 yuan with her parents. Han Xiaoqin said, Ronghua, are you silly? He doesn't even want to acknowledge us as family, and yet you promised to give him 1,000 yuan. Do you think our family is a bank? 1,000 yuan. In the past they could only earn 100 yuan in a year. This Zhou Wenhua is good asking for 1,000 just like that. Li Ronghua said, isn't this to support Wenhua's study? Mom, he is your future son-in-law, you wouldn't refuse, would you? We don't have that much money at home. Dad. Li Ronghua turned her head to Gooden's dad. Gooden's dad took a puff of his dry pipe. In our house, your mother is the boss. Mom? Li Ronghua looked at Han Xiaoqin again. Han Xiaoqin said, 1,000 yuan. Your brothers still need to go to school, where does the family have so much money? Li Ronghua continued, Mom, you give me whatever you can and I'll figure out the rest myself. Surely that's okay? That's not possible. Ronghua, let me tell you, you can do whatever with your salary and we won't ask you for a penny, but don't think about getting any money from the family. Ronghua, haven't you realized it yet? The Zhou family and Zhou Wenhua do not value you at all. Li Ronghua frowned, Mom, if you don't want to lend it, just say so. Why the need to insult Wenhua? He's not that type of person. Chapter 578, Capturing the True Colors of the Zhou Family, 5th Update. _1 Gooden's father tapped his tobacco pipe and said, Ronghua, you need to temper your fiery temper. Your mother means well, she fears you might be deceived. 1,000 yuan is not a trivial sum. Zhou Wenhua is not that kind of person. Li Ronghua retorted, fine, if you don't want to help, so be it. I'm going for a walk. Li Ronghua put down her chopsticks and walked out. Sis. Li Changshu was just about to follow her but was stopped by Han Xiaoqin. Let her go. This wayward child is getting worse. Sooner or later she'll come to grief because of Zhou Wenhua. In the beginning, Han Xiaoqin and her family were very satisfied with Zhou Wenhua. Zhou Wenhua was, after all, the first son-in-law in Jinghua village to have graduated from university. Giving them bragging rights, didn't he? But over the years, Zhou Wenhua's actions had increasingly disappointed them, especially with Mo Qishan as a comparison, making them look down on Zhou Wenhua even more. Mo Qishan, despite his rich background, was always so polite to the villagers, playing the role of a young man perfectly. As for Zhou Wenhua, he acts all high and mighty just because he's a university graduate, puffing himself up with pride. What was worse, is that the Zhou family has yet to acknowledge their relationship properly, clearly disregarding Li Ronghua yet. Li Ronghua still treats Zhou Wenhua like a treasure. Walking down the countryside road at dusk, Li Ronghua was in a gloomy mood, plucking flowers and plants along her way in frustration. Now that Zhou Wenhua had asked her for money for the first time, she couldn't let him down. Besides, Zhou Wenhua was a person with a strong sense of self-esteem. If he wasn't in trouble, he wouldn't actively ask for money. If she couldn't even fulfill this request of Zhou Wenhua's, could she still consider herself Zhou Wenhua's girlfriend? No way. She had to scrape together this 1,000 yuan. Ding ding ding. At this moment, the sound of a bicycle bell came from behind her. Li Ronghua turned back to find that the person on the bicycle was Ni Yang. Seeing Ni Yang was like seeing hope to Li Ronghua, so she immediately waved her hand. Yang Yang. Sister Ronghua. Yang Yang alighted from her bicycle. Li Ronghua asked, Yang Yang, did you just come back from the city? Yes, Ni Yang nodded slightly. Are you taking a walk, Sister Ronghua? Li Ronghua also nodded, hesitated for a moment, then said, Yang Yang, can you do me a favor? What do you need, Sister Ronghua? Yang Yang, can you lend me 1,000 yuan? Ni Yang was a big boss now, lending her 1,000 yuan would not be a problem. Ni Yang asked with concern, Sister Ronghua, have you encountered some difficulties? Li Ronghua's family was not exactly poor. There was no reason for them to borrow money unless they had encountered a serious problem. Li Ronghua replied, It's not a big problem, just a bit of an emergency. Does it have anything to do with your boyfriend? asked Ni Yang. Yes, Li Ronghua nodded. Ni Yang frowned slightly. Your boyfriend is a university student, what does he need so much money for? Li Ronghua replied, There are many expenses at university. Yang Yang, can you help me out for now? I'll pay you back from my salary. Recalling the footage she had taken in the morning, Ni Yang said, Let's talk about the money later. Sister Ronghua, come with me to my house. I want to show you something. What is it? Li Ronghua asked. You'll know when you see it. Li Ronghua followed Ni Yang to the Ni family's house. Ni Yang immediately led Ronghua to their new house, and they entered the living room on the first floor. Even though they hadn't moved into the new house yet, all the furniture was already arranged. The retro-style decor, even the sofa was made of redwood, looked very pleasing to the eye. Li Ronghua visited Ni Yang's new house for the first time and expressed her surprise. Yang Yang, your home's renovation is beautiful. It looks just like the ones on TV. Ni Yang gave a faint smile. Sister Ronghua, please take a seat. Sure. Li Ronghua sat down on the sofa. Ni Yang walked to the TV, took out a camera from her bag and connected it with a data cable. Soon enough, a picture appeared on the TV. Li Ronghua excitedly exclaimed, Hey Yang Yang, isn't this your noodle restaurant? Ni Yang nodded, Yes, it's my restaurant. Today, I accidentally recorded something quite interesting when I was filming there. I'd like to show it to you. Sure. This was Li Ronghua's first time watching a video recording. Soon, a familiar face appeared on the screen. Isn't this my aunt? Ni Yang asked in confusion, Do you know this person? Li Ronghua pointed at Wang Meiying and said, This is my boyfriend's mother. Oh, Ni Yang nodded slightly. Yang Yang, why are you showing me this? Li Ronghua was somewhat curious. Ni Yang continued, You'll understand, Sister Ronghua, just keep watching. At first, Wang Meiying had nothing but praise for Zhou Wenhua. Li Ronghua was very happy and proud. My boyfriend is really something. However, as she kept watching, Li Ronghua felt something was not quite right. Because Wang Meiying mentioned a shameless little girl who keeps throwing herself at her son and constantly gives him gifts. At first, Li Ronghua didn't realize this shameless little girl was her. Not until Wang Meiying continued, That little girl even gave my son a pen the day before yesterday. I heard it's a brand from the USA. It costs over 200 yuan. In reality, my son wouldn't give her a second glance. My son already has a girlfriend from a family that matches ours. You haven't seen how she fawns over him. All those words struck a blow, slicing through Li Ronghua like a knife. She never thought that in the eyes of the elders she respected and loved, she was this kind of shameless person. Ironic. It was just too ironic. Her love for Zhou Wenhua was just a joke to her boyfriend's family. Li Ronghua didn't cry or make a fuss, she just sat quietly on the sofa, spacing out, wishing for a hole to stare at on the television. Sister Ronghua. Ni Yang approached and patted Li Ronghua on the shoulder. Li Ronghua's emotions exploded in that instant. She turned and hugged Ni Yang, crying loudly, Yang Yang. Yang Yang. Ni Yang comforted her, It's okay, don't be upset. In life, who hasn't encountered a few jerks? Li Ronghua continued to sob. She didn't understand why Zhou Wenhua and his family treated her like this. She loved Zhou Wenhua so much, where did she go wrong? Was it just because she lacked education? Sister Ronghua, you should break up with that jerk as soon as possible. You are still young, you have a long life ahead of you. You don't need to hang yourself on a crooked tree. I love him. I love him so much. Yang Yang, do you know how much I love him? She met Zhou Wenhua when she was 16. It's been 6 years now. No one knew how deep her feelings for Zhou Wenhua ran. But he doesn't love you anymore, and Yang continued. He's two-timing you and even wants to take your money, Sister Ronghua. He's not worth your love. No. Wenhua wouldn't lie to me. Wenhua wouldn't deceive me. Li Ronghua shook her head. She absolutely could not accept that Zhou Wenhua had betrayed her. And Yang sighed. Sister Ronghua, there's a saying, love makes people crazy. Now you are the crazy one. I hope you can calm down and think about it carefully. For instance, are there any suspiciously close female students around him? Since his mother said he already has a well-matched girlfriend, there must be some signs. Li Ronghua was stunned. Her first thought was of Su Ziqing, that extraordinary woman who was both a beauty and a university student. No, Wenhua would never betray me. Li Ronghua wiped the tears from her face and stood up. I'm going to find Wenhua. Unless Zhou Wenhua admitted it himself, Li Ronghua would never accept it. Sister Ronghua, and Yang kept up with Li Ronghua. Li Ronghua turned back and tried to keep her tone as calm as possible. Yang, don't follow me. I want to handle this myself. And Yang was somewhat worried. But, don't worry, you'll be fine, Li Ronghua responded without turning back and left the place. Li Ronghua didn't know how she ended up at Zhou Wenhua's school. She had delivered sneakers to Zhou Wenhua here before, so she knew where his dormitory was. But Zhou Wenhua's roommate told her that Zhou Wenhua wasn't in, that he had gone out to watch a movie. As such, Li Ronghua stood at the entrance of the movie theater waiting for him. She waited for a long time. Only then did she see Zhou Wenhua emerge from the cinema. Chapter 579, Hero Saves the Beauty, Update 6:1 to be precise, Zhou Wenhua and Su Ziqing were coming out of the cinema together. Seeing Li Ronghua waiting at the entrance of the theater, Zhou Wenhua walked over with a displeased face. Li Ronghua, why are you here? Did she already manage to raise the money so quickly? He didn't want Su Ziqing to see him asking a woman for money. Li Ronghua tried to smile. Wenhua, what are you doing here? Did you come to the movies with Ziqing? Yeah, so what? Li Ronghua clung to Zhou Wenhua's arm. Wenhua, we've never watched a movie together. Will you watch one with me? Zhou Wenhua jerked his arm away disgustedly. Li Ronghua, what's gotten into you? Li Ronghua looked up at Zhou Wenhua. Wenhua, do you love me? At her words, Su Ziqing also looked up at Zhou Wenhua. At such a moment, of course, Zhou Wenhua could not speak against his conscience. What if Su Ziqing misunderstands? After all, he loved only Su Ziqing now. Li Ronghua, stop making a scene. Zhou Wenhua was caught between a rock and a hard place. He had no idea what Li Ronghua was playing at. Wenhua, you love me, don't you? Wenhua, you love me, don't you? The tears welled up in Li Ronghua's eyes and spilled down her cheeks. Her love was humble. As long as Zhou Wenhua nodded and said he loved her, she would believe it. Zhou Wenhua knew that if he nodded at this moment, he would lose Su Ziqing forever. Comparing Li Ronghua and Su Ziqing was of course more important. Li Ronghua, what on earth are you doing? Saying this, he grabbed Li Ronghua's arm and said in a low voice, go home first. Whatever happens, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Ziqing is still here. Let's not make a scene and give her something to laugh at. Li Ronghua looked at Zhou Wenhua with eyes full of despair. I just have one question, do you love me or not? Sister Ronghua, since things have come to this, let's lay it all out on the table. It's not fair to keep this from you. Su Ziqing came over and clung to Zhou Wenhua's arm. Wenhua and I are already together. Li Ronghua stood there in a daze, seemingly unable to believe what was happening before her eyes. You're lying, aren't you? You're just classmates. No, I didn't lie to you. Su Ziqing continued. Sister Ronghua, I know it's extremely unfair to you. After all, you and Wenhua have been together for so many years. However, feelings aren't something one can control. I hope to have your blessings. Shut up. Shut up. Li Ronghua pointed at Su Ziqing angrily, then turned to Zhou Wenhua and implored, Wenhua, tell her she's lying, you love me, don't you? Seeing the look in Li Ronghua's eyes, Su Ziqing couldn't help but feel sympathetic. However, she could only shake her head helplessly. At the same time, she felt proud of having such an exceptional boyfriend. If Zhou Wenhua wasn't exceptional, would Li Ronghua be so persistent? The victor, of course, would feel proud. At this moment, Zhou Wenhua must stand by Su Ziqing's side. He didn't realize how things would escalate to this. In his plan, he would first get 1,000 yuan, then confront Li Ronghua. In this situation, he would just lose 1,000 yuan for nothing. After all, his life didn't depend on it. But if he lost Su Ziqing, he would lose his future with her. Li Ronghua, Ziqing is right, she and I are already together. No, I don't believe it. Wenhua, how could you do this to me? Li Ronghua collapsed onto the ground in despair. Su Ziqin looked at Li Ronghua apologetically. Sister Ronghua, I owe you an apology. But it's not all my fault. In love, matching backgrounds and shared language matter. You only finished elementary school while Wenhua is a university student. You're simply not meant to be. Li Ronghua cried into her hands. She hated herself for not studying more. Su Ziqin continued, Sister Ronghua, if you still have some dignity, stop pestering Wenhua. It's pointless. We wish you the best in finding your own happiness. The only response Su Ziqin got was a low sob. A sigh escaped Su Ziqin's lips. Sister Ronghua, it's getting late. We're going to leave. You should take some time to think. After she finished speaking, Su Ziqin walked away, arm in arm with Zhou Wenhua. At that moment, Li Ronghua sprang up and caught Zhou Wenhua's arm. Wenhua, don't leave. Don't abandon me. This sudden scene startled Su Ziqin. As a college student, coming from a privileged background, Su Ziqin had never met such a humble woman like Li Ronghua. Initially, she thought Li Ronghua would physically attack her out of anger. Zhou Wenhua violently pushed Li Ronghua away. Li Ronghua, have you no shame? At that moment, a pair of hands supported Li Ronghua. Can you not be so aggressive towards women? It was incomprehensible why such a man would even have a girlfriend. Mind your own business. Zhou Wenhua grabbed Su Ziqin's arm. Zijin, let's go. Comrade, are you okay? Do you need to call the police? Wu Daming continued. No need, Li Ronghua shook her head. In the light, Wu Daming finally got a clear look at Li Ronghua's face, exclaiming in surprise, You're that older sister, aren't you? Wu Daming had a deep impression of Li Ronghua's fiery personality. Unexpectedly, Li Ronghua was also subject to bullying. Who are you? Li Ronghua seemed to have no memory of Wu Daming. You may not know me, but you definitely know my sixth sister-in-law, Anai Yang, who lives in your Jinghua village, said Wu Daming. What happened to you? Do you need any help? No need, Li Ronghua shook her head again. Observing Li Ronghua's terrible state, Wu Daming continued, It's late. Let me drive you home. No need, Li Ronghua shook her head, then looked at her bicycle. I have a bike. Wu Daming said, You can't ride a bike in this state, we're from the same village, let me take you home. This was also a good chance to win some favor from Anai Yang and hopefully get introduced to a pretty girlfriend. Moreover, Wu Daming was a very upright guy. Now that he had run into this situation, he couldn't let Li Ronghua be in danger. Without waiting for Li Ronghua's response, Wu Daming carried the bicycle to the trunk of his car, then helped Li Ronghua get on the back seat. Li Ronghua's despair had reached its peak. She felt drained like a puppet on strings. Wu Daming, unaware of the situation, could only drive towards Jinghua village without asking more. Sister, where is your house? I can only drive up to the entrance of the village. Li Ronghua didn't respond. Sister, have you fallen asleep? Wu Daming turned back to look at the back seat. Li Ronghua hadn't fallen asleep, she just didn't want to talk. Sister. Wu Daming poked Li Ronghua's arm lightly with his finger. Li Ronghua still didn't respond. Oh my god, sister, don't scare me. Wu Daming panicked. Women are really scary. You shouldn't look for a girlfriend. Li Ronghua remained silent, so Wu Daming had no choice but to seek help from Anai Yang. Sister, stay in the car, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Wu Daming ran over to Anai Yang's house. Sixth sister-in-law. Anai Yang had just taken in her laundry and was preparing to take a shower. She was surprised to see Wu Daming and asked, What brings you here, Wu Daming? Wu Daming, gasping for breath, said, I ran into one of your village's older sisters in town. Something seems to have happened to her, she's in my car right now. Could you quickly come and check? Okay. Anai Yang put down the laundry basket. Without even having time to greet Anai Tsuehua, she followed Wu Daming to the entrance of the village. Sixth sister-in-law, it's this sister. When Anai Yang looked, it wasn't just any older sister, it was Li Ronghua. Sister Ronghua? Anai Yang started in a gentle voice. Yang, Li Ronghua lifted her head to look at Anai Yang. With Li Ronghua finally talking, Wu Daming breathed a sigh of relief. Sister Ronghua, what's happened to you? Li Ronghua wept silently as she hugged Anai Yang. Wenhua doesn't want me. He really doesn't want me. Anai Yang continued, Sister Ronghua, stop crying. Would you like to come home with me? I don't want to go home, Li Ronghua sobbed. Chapter 580, Break up with the scumbag. Update 7:1 She was too ashamed to face her parents. Anai Yang said, Then don't go back to your place, why not come with me to my house first? You can stay with me for the night. Okay. Li Ronghua nodded. And Ai Yang turned her gaze to Wu Daming. Wu Daming, could you please help push Sister Ronghua's bicycle? No trouble at all. Wu Daming promptly pushed the bicycle and followed behind them. Once they arrived at the Ni family's residence, Wu Daming parked the bicycle in the yard and bid Ai Yang goodbye. Ai Yang said, Wu Daming, thanks for your help tonight. I appreciate you bringing Sister Ronghua back. Sister-in-law, you needn't be so formal with me. I'll be on my way then. Ai Yang nodded, be careful on the road. After Wu Daming left, Ai Yang led Li Ronghua into her own room, and then she went to inform Ai Tsuehua. Ai Tsuehua, being a kind-hearted person, asked with concern as soon as she heard about the situation, is Ronghua okay now? No serious matter. Mom, could you do me a favor and visit Guden's house? You can tell Guden's parents not to worry. Ai Tsuehua immediately put down her English book, I'll go right away. Okay. Ai Yang nodded. By the time Ai Tsuehua got there, Guden's parents were already getting anxious and about to go out in search of her. Upon hearing that she was at Ai Kuihua's house, they finally breathed a sigh of relief. Since stepping into Ai Yang's room, Li Ronghua had begun to weep silently. Apart from crying, she didn't know what else to do. Ai Yang sat by her side, comforting her. Sister Ronghua, recognizing the true colors of a scumbag like Zhou Wenhua is actually a good thing. If you didn't see it until after you were married and had children, it would be too late for regrets. You're so young and beautiful. What kind of man can't you find? Zhou Wenhua is not worthy of you at all. Li Ronghua couldn't listen to these comforting words at all right now, she just kept on crying heartbrokenly. Ai Yang intensified her tone, Sister Ronghua, do you really plan to continue being dejected like this? It was only then that Li Ronghua raised her head to look at Ai Yang. Then, what should I do? I've lost everything. Zhou Wenhua was her everything. Now that Zhou Wenhua didn't want her anymore, what did she have left? You still have family. You have grandparents, parents, and 2 younger brothers. Do you really think they, combined, are not as important as a man like Chen Shimi? Do you realize how upset your family would be if they heard you say this? Especially Aunt Han, who worked so hard to raise you. Surely she didn't do it just so you could throw yourself away like this? Li Ronghua was taken aback. No one had ever said such things to her before. Everyone always said that the fate of a girl was like a seed. If it lands on fertile soil, it can enjoy a life of happiness. If it lands on barren soil, then it can only experience a life of hardship. That's why she was always dreaming about finding an exceptional boyfriend and marrying into a good family. And then she met Zhou Wenhua. When they first met, Zhou Wenhua was a high school senior. It was she who had accompanied him through failure after failure until he rose again. Because she believed Zhou Wenhua would certainly succeed one day. And indeed she was right. After 3 years of studying for the college entrance exam again, Zhou Wenhua was finally admitted to a second-tier university. Thanks to this, Li Ronghua was able to hold her head high in front of all her relatives. Li Ronghua loved Zhou Wenhua so much that she didn't even notice when he began to change. Ai Yang sighed and then said, Sister Ronghua, a man is not everything. You should cheer up and strive to better yourself. Have you ever heard this saying? What saying? Li Ronghua asked. If today you look down on me, there will come a day when you might not be able to reach me. This simple, plain sentence carries an unexplained power. Most of the sadness in Li Ronghua's heart suddenly disappeared. Yes, she should cheer up. She would make Zhou Wenhua regret what he did today. She would become someone Zhou Wenhua could never dream of being with. Ai Yang continued, even the chairman said that women are now holding up half the sky. You absolutely must not bemoan or pity yourself or even abandon yourself. Doing so will only give satisfaction to your enemies and pain to your loved ones. Li Ronghua wiped her eyes and looked at Ai Yang. Ai Yang, you're right. I should cheer up. Ai Yang smiled and said, Sister Ronghua, as long as you've come to your senses, that's good. She was afraid that Li Ronghua would descend into her own world and never be able to return. I will make Zhou Wenhua regret. Ai Yan continued, making Zhou Wenhua regret is only secondary, your main task is to become better yourself. Only when you yourself become better can you meet better people. Don't let jerks get in your way. Li Ronghua nodded, thank you Yang Yang. Ai Yan was like a wake-up call. After that, Li Ronghua asked, what does jerk mean? This word was quite fresh, she seemed to have never heard it before. Ai Yan explained, it simply means scum. Oh. Li Ronghua continued, Yang Yang, I won't bother you anymore, I'll go back first. She had figured it out now and wouldn't be foolish anymore. Ai Yan said, just stay here for tonight, my mom has already informed your family. Tomorrow I'll give you a day off and we can have a good wander around the city together. Li Ronghua quickly declined. No need, Yang Yang, I'm really fine now, you don't have to give me a day off. And Ai Yen smiled lightly. Don't misunderstand, it's not just for you. I just want to go out for some fun myself. Sister Ronghua, keep me company, otherwise it'll be so boring for me alone. Li Ronghua knew that Ai Yen was comforting her. How fortunate she was to have met such a good leader and friend like Ai Yen in her life. Ai Yen then took a set of pajamas from the cabinet. Sister Ronghua, you can wear my pajamas tonight. That night the two chatted for a very long time. In the middle of the night Ai Yen asked, Sister Ronghua, what's your dream? What is her dream? Before, Li Ronghua's dream was to marry Zhou Wenhua and become a qualified wife. Now her dream is to become better and make Zhou Wenhua regret. Li Ronghua answered as such, then counter-questioned, Yang Yang, what is your dream? Ai Yen said, my dream is to make a lot of money, then buy a villa, car, yacht and travel the world. She is a simple person with no lofty dreams. She just wants to quietly be a rich person, living a comfortable life with someone she loves. As they talked they fell asleep unknowingly. The next day when Li Ronghua woke up, Ai Yen was already out of bed. As she stepped out of the room she saw Ai Yen walking out of the yard with a cup and toothbrush. The sunlight shone on her face. Sister Ronghua, you're up. Hurry and brush your teeth and wash up, it's time for breakfast. At that moment, Li Ronghua forgot all about the incidents of yesterday, smiling and saying, all right. Yes, life is so wonderful, why should she keep thinking about a jerk? After breakfast, Li Ronghua went shopping with Ai Yen. They took a tram to get there. Shall we go to the clothing store first? A girl's wardrobe is always short of one piece. Li Ronghua nodded. Ai Yen picked out a light blue cheongsam. Li Ronghua spotted a nice dress as well, but she didn't have any money on her and reluctantly let it go. However, when it came to paying, Ai Yen paid for the dress Li Ronghua had wanted as well. Yang Yang, Ai Yen smiled, don't worry, this dress isn't a gift from me. I'll deduct it from your wages next month. Only then did Li Ronghua feel at ease. After buying clothes they went to a shoe store. Ai Yen bought a pair of shoes for both Ai Tsuehua and little Ai Yun. Over the years, Li Ronghua had focused all her attention on Zhou Wenhua. She had never bought anything for her family. Thinking about this, she felt guilty and chose a pair of shoes for her grandparents, parents and younger siblings. In the following days she would do her best to be filial to her grandparents and parents. Shopping can really cheer people up. Soon enough, a smile crept onto Li Ronghua's face. Is that Sister Ronghua? Su Ziqin asked, pointing across the street. Hearing this, Zhou Wenhua, who was next to him, grimaced in disgust. Why is she here again? Didn't I make myself clear last night? Well, you are so accomplished it's normal for Sister Ronghua to not let go. Su Ziqin reasoned. Wenhua, let's say hi to Sister Ronghua. Chapter 581, Scum Men and Women Seeking Abuse at Home, Update 8, Unders 1. Why bother greeting her? What if she clings on to us? Zhou Wenhua didn't want to see Li Ronghua at all right now. Su Zijin said, that won't happen. I believe Sister Ronghua is not that type of person. Nowadays, men's and women's relationships are so open that it's possible to stay friends after breaking up. The more Li Ronghua clung to him, the more it highlighted her understanding nature. Without the green leaves, how can we highlight the red flowers? Under Su Zijin's persuasion, Zhou Wenhua reluctantly agreed to meet Li Ronghua. Ai Yang was discussing skincare with Li Ronghua when a young man and woman suddenly walked by. The woman enthusiastically greeted, Sister Ronghua. Li Ronghua was stunned. After all, she had just experienced betrayal last night, and seeing this shameless couple so soon took her by surprise. Sister Ronghua, you're not still mad at Wenhua and me, are you? It's all in the past now. I hope you can let it go. After all, there are many good men out there besides Wenhua. Su Zijin's voice was so soft that it made Li Ronghua shiver all over. Even though she had decided to be strong, facing the aggressive Su Zijin, she still lacked a bit of confidence. The illiterate elementary school graduate left an invisible tight hoop of shame around her head, making her feel inferior in front of this legitimate college student. Ai Yang slightly raised her eyebrow. So you are that third wheel, Su Zijin? Then you must be that freeloading, heart-stealing chinshimi Zhou Wenhua, right? As she said this, Ai Yang glanced at Zhou Wenhua. Zhou Wenhua had a face that fit the image of a scumbag. No wonder he was able to juggle women. Caught by Ai Yang's sudden gaze, Zhou Wenhua was stunned, unable to respond to Ai Yang's insults. This girl is too beautiful. Is she Li Ronghua's relative or friend? How come he didn't know that Li Ronghua has such a beautiful girl around her? He used to think that Su Zijin was the most beautiful girl in the world, but standing in front of Ni Yang, Su Zijin seemed invisible. How could you talk like that? Don't you have any manners? Su Zijin argued indignantly. Oh really? So stealing someone else's boyfriend shows good manners? Ni Yang responded with a faint smile. The mall was crowded. Hearing Ni Yang's words, many people chose to stop in their tracks and stay to watch the drama unfold. TSK. This girl is really shameless. She actually stole someone else's boyfriend. The onlookers pointed at Su Zijin and mumbled amongst themselves. Su Zijin, a simple college girl, had never been through anything like this. That's not true. I didn't. You're just spouting nonsense. Zhou Wenhua finally snapped out of it and shielded Su Zijin behind him. Comrade, I know you're trying to speak up for Li Ronghua, but this situation has nothing to do with Zijin. We're together because of love. Ni Yang retorted, what about Sister Ronghua? When you were double-timing Sister Ronghua with Su Zijin, have you ever thought about how she felt? And you, Su Zijin, you knew Zhou Wenhua had a girlfriend but still got involved with him. Do you have any shame at all? Ni Yang's words were hard-hitting. She ripped off the glamorous facade of Zhou Wenhua and Su Zijin, exposing their ugly sides to everyone, leaving them with no dignity at all. Su Zijin turned pale without any strength to fight back. She could be arrogant in front of Li Ronghua, looking at Li Ronghua as if she were a pitiful creature. But now the one standing in front of her was Ni Yang. What a disgrace to our Zhou family. That woman's surname is Su? My surname is also Su. She embarrasses us, Su Zijin? What an ugly name. And Zhou Wenhua's name isn't much better. He's a cultured person, but he could do such a shameless thing. The crowd around them pointed fingers and whispered. Zhou Wenhua's face changed colors as he said, there was no love between Li Ronghua and me. We now have the freedom to love, and love can't be forced. You shouldn't still be clinging on to me. Zhou Wenhua wanted to put all the blame on Li Ronghua. How could Ni Yang let him succeed? Clinging on to you? That's a joke. Think about who was clinging on to whom. And who came here first to pick a fight. You're a freeloader and now you want to bite back? Do you think Sister Ronghua is easy to bully? Zhou Wenhua had never argued with anyone before. At this moment, his face was flushed with exasperation. Unable to outtalk Ni Yang, he turned to Li Ronghua and said indignantly, Li Ronghua, we have broken up. Can you please stop this? Can't we part on good terms? Li Ronghua couldn't utter a word. She would have collapsed to the ground if it wasn't for Ni Yang's support. Ni Yang gave a faint smile, looked at Zhou Wenhua and said, since you have broken up, you should return what Sister Ronghua has given you, right? The Parker pen you keep in your jacket pocket was a gift from her, as were the branded sneakers on your feet. Over the years, your tuition, miscellaneous fees, and living expenses have all been paid by Sister Ronghua. You are not planning to welsh on your debts, are you? Oh, and by the way, yesterday afternoon, you took a bottle of Ice YU Whitening Moisturizer from Sister Ronghua. You've been freeloading off her for years, so you should at least pay her back with interest. The onlookers became very excited at this point. My goodness. This guy is so shameless. Taking so much from the girl without a second thought. He's practically a real-life chin shimmy. And he's a college student. Seems like he fed all his books to a dog. The girl was so kind to him and he dared to cheat. Listening to the surrounding chatter, Zhou Wenhua's face turned from pale to green and then red, as if it was a color palette. It made for a rather amusing sight. He felt his manly dignity being stepped on and ruthlessly trampled upon. Indeed, he had been funded by Li Ronghua over the years. But that was Li Ronghua's choice all along. Why should he tolerate this humiliation because of her now? Su Zikin's face darkened as well. She had never dealt with such humiliation before. Ni Yang continued, Zhou Wenhua, you're not planning to ditch your debts as a college student, are you? If you dare, it'll take Sister Ronghua to meet your teachers and classmates. Let them judge who's right and wrong. We must get justice for Sister Ronghua. How could something that couldn't be mentioned in public be escalated to the school? Out of mortification and rage, Zhou Wenhua removed the pen from his chest pocket. Take this back. Ni Yang glanced at his feet. What about that one? Zhou Wenhua took off his shoes. Ni Yang looked at the shoes on the ground, kicked them casually, and before anyone could react, the shoes ended up in a trash can 10 meters away. Bang! There was a collective gasp from the crowd. That was amazing. Rather toss the shoes in the trash than give them back to this freeloader. What a spirit of vengeance. Can I leave now? Zhou Wenhua wanted nothing more than to leave this humiliating place immediately. Ni Yang spoke casually, what about the money? Or have you decided not to pay back what you owe Sister Ronghua? Zhou Wenhua emptied all the cash from his pockets and handed it to Ni Yang, eager to cut all ties with Li Ronghua immediately. Ni Yang counted the money, clicking her tongue. Only 50 yuan? Sister Ronghua supported you for 5 years, which would be around 1,000 yuan at 200 yuan per year. 50 yuan can barely cover the interest. Don't go too far. Zhou Wenhua gritted his teeth. Li Ronghua, if you continue this way, be careful that I will never forgive you in my life. He didn't believe that Li Ronghua would forget him that quickly. Li Ronghua would surely not insist on him repaying 1,000 yuan. Li Ronghua looked at Zhou Wenhua, her lips trembling. It wasn't until today that she saw Zhou Wenhua for what he truly was. She blamed herself for being blind all these years. Falling for a man as ruthless and selfish as him. Are you angry because you are embarrassed? Ni Yang smiled faintly. From what it seems, you want us to go to school and have your teachers and classmates judge this, right? Zhou Wenhua was momentarily speechless. What exactly do you want? Ni Yang handed Zhou Wenhua a pen and a piece of paper. If you don't have the money now, write an IOU for Sister Ronghua for the time being. Zhou Wenhua took the pen and paper. Chapter 582, The Great Abuse of Scumbags Men and Women, Update 9:1 Ni Yang continued, I instruct, you write. Zhou Wenhua clenched his fist in anger and shame. Borrower Zhou Wenhua, due to financial distress, borrowed 1,000 renminbi from lender Li Ronghua on August 2, 1984, Ni Yang said before reminding him, remember to write 1,000 in capital letters. Zhou Wenhua's face was full of humiliation. His hand holding the pen was trembling. He never thought there would come a day when Li Ronghua would be reduced to this state. After a while, he handed the IOU to Ni Yang and said, Here you go. Ni Yang reached out to accept the IOU, a fleeting silver light at her fingertips. At that moment, Zhou Wenhua felt a piercing pain in his thumb, while Ni Yang was pressing his finger on the paper. Instantly, a bloody fingerprint appeared on the black and white IOU. Ni Yang looked satisfied, waved the IOU and said, Remember to pay the debt on time or else I'll take this to your school's leaders. What a disgrace. This was beyond humiliating. Zhou Wenhua wished he could burrow into the ground. He pulled Su Zikin's hand, squeezed through the crowd and left. Ni Yang slightly parted her lips and turned to look at Li Ronghua. Sister Ronghua, are you okay? Li Ronghua looked blankly at Ni Yang for a long time before saying, Yang, you're amazing. If it hadn't been for Ni Yang today, she might not have been able to hold on. Not only did Ni Yang help her teach Zhou Wenhua a lesson, but she also made him sign an IOU. She was truly incredible. Although she had always known that Ni Yang was very capable, Li Ronghua had never admired Ni Yang as much as she did now. Ni Yang laughed and said, It's nothing. Sister Ronghua, when faced with scumbags, you shouldn't feel afraid or guilty. They should feel so instead, as they were the ones who wronged you first. Keep this IOU safe and make Zhou Wenhua pay you back every penny. If he dares not to, we will make him infamous. Originally, going to the school was just to scare Zhou Wenhua, and Ni Yang didn't expect Zhou Wenhua to be so easily frightened and actually wrote the IOU. Now with the IOU, she was not afraid of Zhou Wenhua denying the debt. If Zhou Wenhua dared not to repay the money, Ni Yang had 100 ways to make him famous. Yang, you're so kind. Li Ronghua hugged Ni Yang. Ni Yang patted Li Ronghua's back. We're good sisters, it's only natural. Li Ronghua nodded. Yes, we are lifelong good sisters. She would never forget Ni Yang's kindness in her lifetime. Ni Yang laughed and said, Let's go, don't let the scumbags affect our mood, let's continue shopping. Yang, wait for me a minute. Li Ronghua picked up the Parker pen and walked towards the trash can. Sister Ronghua, don't throw it away. Ni Yang immediately stopped Li Ronghua. Li Ronghua looked at Ni Yang with confusion. Why keep the pen that Zhou Wenhua had used? Ni Yang laughed and said, Sister Ronghua, this Parker pen cost over 200 yuan, why should we be at odds with money? There is a pawn shop downstairs. This pen is almost new and can at least exchange for 100 yuan. Really? Li Ronghua was somewhat surprised. Yes. Ni Yang nodded. The two went to the pawn shop and sure enough, the Parker pen was exchanged for 108 yuan. Adding the 50 yuan Zhou Wenhua repaid, Li Ronghua, who was initially broke, instantly became a little rich woman. Li Ronghua immediately paid back the money she borrowed from Ni Yang today. Ni Yang didn't refuse. After shopping, Ni Yang and Li Ronghua went to eat together. Today they ate Korean food. After a whole day, Li Ronghua had forgotten all the unhappiness, she seemed to have been completely transformed. She came home with lots of shopping bags and gave the gifts she bought today to her family. Gooden exclaimed in surprise, "Sis, you're rich. You even bought us so many things." A seemingly ordinary phrase, but it made Li Ronghua feel a little bitter. Over the years, she had always been supplementing Zhou Wenhua. She hadn't even bought her family a pair of socks. Han Xiaoqin also found it strange. "Ronghua, what's going on?" All the family's eyes were fixed on Li Ronghua. Li Ronghua fought back tears, preventing them from falling. "Nothing. I just want to provide for you all properly in the future." Gooden's dad put down his pipe. "Did Zhou Wenhua bully you?" "No." Li Ronghua shook her head. Gooden's dad wanted to say something more, but was hushed up by Han Xiaoqin. In the evening, Han Xiaoqin came to Li Ronghua's room. Li Ronghua was crouching over an iron basin that seems to be burning something. Seeing Han Xiaoqin come over, she immediately put out the fire in the basin. "Ronghua, what's the matter?" "Mom, why are you here?" Li Ronghua seemed a bit awkward as she got up. Han Xiaoqin looked at the smoky iron basin on the ground, took Li Ronghua's hand and sat on the edge of the bed. "Ronghua, please tell me, is it true that you had a fight with Wenhua?" Such things, despite being temporarily hidden, can never be held back forever. Sooner or later they need to be laid on the table. Li Ronghua nodded. "Mom, we broke up." "Broke up?" Han Xiaoqin was somewhat surprised. Li Ronghua was her daughter. She knew how much Li Ronghua liked Zhou Wenhua, and the many sacrifices she had made over the years for him. Li Ronghua affirmed with a nod. Han Xiaoqin then asked, "What happened exactly? Why would you break up? What about all the sacrifices you've made over these years? Are they wasted just like that?" Although she had an unfavorable view of Zhou Wenhua now, she still felt sorry for her daughter. Li Ronghua went through the entire story. Han Xiaoqin began by cursing Zhou Wenhua. She then expressed her relief. "Thank goodness Yang Yang was there. Otherwise you would have suffered a terrible loss. You'll learn from this experience. Be more careful when you choose your next boyfriend." 8,000 yuan was a large sum during this period. At least Li Ronghua didn't lose everything, which was somewhat comforting. Li Ronghua nodded. "I understand, Mom." Han Xiaoqin glanced out the window and continued, "Then I'll go back to my room." "Mom." Li Ronghua stretched out her hand and grabbed Han Xiaoqin's hand. "What's wrong?" Han Xiaoqin turned back to her. Li Ronghua then said, "Mom, would you sleep with me tonight?" "Okay." Han Xiaoqin nodded in agreement. This was the first time since she was grown up that Li Ronghua had shared a bed with her mother. Li Ronghua felt like she had returned to her childhood. The mother and daughter lay in bed, chatting about lots of intimate matters. At Ni families. After Ni Yang returned, Ni Tsuehua couldn't wait to inquire about Li Ronghua. Ni Yang smiled and said, "Don't worry, Sister Ronghua is okay." "That's good," Ni Tsuehua nodded. "Ronghua is a good girl, a bit naive. I didn't expect that she would encounter such a man. It's fortunate she didn't marry him. If they had married, it would have ruined the life of Li Ronghua." Half a month flew by in a blink of an eye. In M country. The condition of Caroline's skin had been improving recently. The most noticeable changes were that her crow's feet and forehead creases had faded, and even her skin had become whiter. She looked more than 10 years younger. Wherever she went, people would ask her which skincare products she used. Caroline smiled and said, "This skincare product is called Ice's Jade Skin. However, you can't buy it here. You need to go China to get it." "Is it a skincare product produced in China?" "Yes." Caroline nodded. She absolutely trusted Ice's Jade Skin now. "So where did you buy it? Can you help me get a set?" Caroline regretfully said, "That may not be possible, someone else gave this to me as a gift." "Oh, I see." Seeing that there was not much wrinkle cream left in the bottle, which was enough for only 3 months, Caroline immediately went to find Annie. When Annie saw Caroline, she was also taken aback. "Oh, my dear. You look so much younger." Caroline smiled and said, "Thanks to the bottle of wrinkle cream you gave me. Dear, would you help me buy a few more bottles? Money is not a problem." This product was so good that she would willingly spend all her fortune on it. Annie was surprised. "Is that wrinkle cream really that amazing?" Caroline pulled Annie towards the mirror. "Of course. Just look at my face." In the mirror, 2 contrasting faces were reflected. One showed signs of aging with numerous lines and wrinkles. The other appeared radiant with full vitality. Annie was about the same age as Caroline. They used to look similar, but now, it seemed as if Annie had aged overnight. Caroline continued, "My dear, you don't have to believe in Ice's Jade Skin, but I do. I am so thankful that it was you who introduced me to such an amazing product. You must help me bring back a few more bottles." Chapter 583, The Spirit of Traditional Chinese Medicine Admired by the People of F Country. Update 10_1 Annie was slightly stunned. She really hadn't expected the Bing Jiu Fu cream to have such a great effect. This was too miraculous. If she'd known how good the Bing Jiu Fu cream was, she would definitely have kept it for her own use and not given it away to others. For a moment, Annie was filled with regret. After Caroline left, Annie immediately went to Emily's school. Only after seeing Emily, did Annie realize that Caroline wasn't the only one who had changed. Emily had also transformed. Emily's skin was fair and tender, able to drip water. "Mom, why are you here?" Emily was surprised to see her mother. Annie asked, "Do you have any more wrinkle cream left? Give some to your mom." Emily shook her head. "No, there isn't any left. Didn't I give you a bottle last time?" Instead of directly answering Emily's question, Annie continued, "Can you ask your friend to mail a few bottles over? Race the money." Annie took out a bundle of cash from her pocket and stuffed it into Emily's hand. Emily was a little confused. It takes over 2 months for a package from China to arrive. The goods Yen sent me after she went back to China are still in transit. Over 2 months? She wanted to use the wrinkle cream right away and couldn't wait that long. Why does it take so long? Can't it be faster? It only takes a dozen hours to fly over from China. Why are the postal services so slow? Emily frowned. "Mom, weren't you worried that the wrinkle cream would ruin your face? Why do you suddenly want to buy it now? Have you already used the wrinkle cream? But I don't see any changes on your face." With the miraculous effect of the Bing Jiu Fu cream, Annie's face should not remain the same. Annie was very upset. "I gave that wrinkle cream to your Aunt Caroline." "What?" Emily looked shocked. "How could you give such a precious thing to Aunt Caroline?" Annie sighed. "I regret it very much now. But there was no antidote for regret in this world. If she had not given the wrinkle cream to Caroline, she would be using the wrinkle cream now. A bottle lasts 3 months, and by the time she finished a bottle, a new one would be on its way. Why don't you wait a little longer?" Annie looked at Emily. "Do you have Yan's address?" Emily was taken aback, then asked, "Are you thinking of going to China?" "Yes." Annie nodded. For beauty, she was willing to pay any price. A trip to China was no big deal. "Mom, are you sure about this?" A trip to China wasn't easy. They didn't know a soul there, and the language barrier might make it difficult to locate Yen. Annie nodded. "Yes, I've made up my mind." "All right then, hold on, I'll go get the address for you." The last time Yen had left, she had given Caroline an address. Annie took the note. "I might be going to China soon. You will be alone at school, so be careful." "Yes." Emily nodded. "Mom, remember to bring me some Chinese specialties. I heard from Yen that China has a lot of delicious food." "Sure." Annie gave her daughter a hug before leaving. China. Today was the day for Yen to follow up with Georgia. Lying semi-recumbent in bed, Georgia spoke in her not-so-fluent Chinese. "Divine doctor, you came." "Madam." Yen walked over, placed her medical box on the cabinet in front of the bed, and asked, "Have you been feeling unwell recently?" Georgia smiled. "Not at all. I feel very good." For the first time in over a year, Georgia had laughed so heartily. She too could feel that she was improving day by day. "That's good." Yen rolled up Georgia's sleeve and began to take her pulse. Georgia looked at Yen, her eyes twinkling with a smile. Just like when she first saw her. Yen, dressed in a plain white cheongsam, sat quietly. Without doing much, she managed to pull Georgia back from the brink of death. Yen had an extraordinarily beautiful face, as if kissed by God himself. Her enchanting peach blossom eyes could capture one's soul with every flirtatious twinkle. Her thick, long eyelashes allowed her to perfectly hide her emotions in a downcast gaze. The high, well-proportioned bridge of her nose, her ruby-hued lips, and her smooth, luminous skin made her even more enchanting than the blooming muten flower in the room. This was the beauty esteemed by the Chinese. Her allure was irreplaceable. Having just let go of George's hand, Mr. Abner walked in. "Divine Doctor Yen, how is my mother doing now?" Yen glanced back. "Madam is all right now. She should take a light diet for a while and she should be able to get out of bed in about half a month." "Really?" George's eyes welled up with tears. She excitedly grabbed Yen's hand. "Divine Doctor, can I really stand up?" Originally, she had thought that her recovery would be the biggest surprise. But she never expected that she would be able to stand up. Perhaps nobody could understand the feeling of a paralyzed person who could suddenly stand up. "Yes, indeed." Yen nodded. Abner was overjoyed, holding George's hand, and said, Mom, did you hear that? You can stand up. Yes, I heard. Mother and son were so happy that they wept tears of joy. Outside the window, the sky was perfectly clear. A crepe myrtle flower leaning against the wall was blooming profusely. A light breeze wafted over, carrying a faint fragrance. Georgia held Anayan's hand, repeatedly thanking her, and then asked, Divine Dr. Anayan, how old are you this year? 18. Anayan answered. Georgia said, So Abner is 12 years older than you. Do you have any brothers or sisters at home? I have a little sister at home. Georgia continued, Then take your little sister over to visit when you have time. Okay, I will. Divine Dr. Anayan. Mr. Abner started. Yes. Mr. Abner continued, You saved my mother and have thus become our benefactor. In China, there's a saying that one should repay a small kindness with a fountain of gratitude, let alone saving a life. This is a token of gratitude from my mother and I. Please do accept it. No sooner had he finished this sentence than a servant brought over a small briefcase. Mr. Abner walked over and opened the briefcase. It was filled entirely with USD. Even though Anayan had seen much of the world in her previous life, she was still slightly startled. Mr. Abner, I cannot accept this money. Anayan spoke lightly. Why? Mr. Abner was a little puzzled. Did Anayan think the amount was too little? This sum added up to 500,000 US dollars, amounting to 4 million RMB. It shouldn't be too small for Anayan. Georgia, who was in bed, was also somewhat confused. Anayan continued, My master's teaching was, a doctor does not distinguish between the rich and the poor. A doctor should cure the diseases of the sovereign, rescue the poor and destitute, and take good care of his health to be able to save others. If I accept such a large amount of money today, no one will dare to invite me to do medical consultation in the future. If my master knew about this, he would certainly be disappointed. So I cannot accept this money. Anayan's master was a very good practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine. When Anayan first escaped from Dam village, the first people she met were her master and his wife. If not for them, Anayan wouldn't have such brilliant medical skills, let alone thrive so smoothly in Beijing. The primary reason why Anayan chose Beijing as her first destination was to make money and thrive. The second reason was because of her master. In Anayan's past life memory, her master and his wife had only one son who died in a premeditated revenge incident. Each remembrance of their son caused a flood of tears from her master and his wife, leading to their premature deaths in their 60s. When Anayan met them in her past life, their son was already gone. All that was left for them was a black and white photograph, with a clear date of his tragic end recorded at the back. What Anayan was now determined to do was to rescue him from that premeditated revenge. In this life, Anayan would not let her master and his wife endure the pain of losing a child again. The time of that tragic incident involving the elder brother she never met was fast approaching. Anayan was prepared for that moment. Mr. Abner looked at Anayan, and his eyes were full of respect. He thought maybe this was the spirit of traditional Chinese medicine. Compared to the exorbitant fees of Western medicine, the spirit of traditional Chinese medicine was truly admirable. Divine Dr. Anayan, I admire your spirit of traditional Chinese medicine. Mr. Abner gave Anayan a deep bow. Chapter 584, Are you Dia? 11 updates, _1 This was Mr. Abner's first time admiring someone so much. And also the first time he fell in love with a country. He had always heard about the profoundness of Chinese culture, this time he experienced it firsthand. You flatter me, I am merely carrying on my master's teaching, Anayan said with a faint smile. Yang. Georgia looked at Anayan, May I call you that? You may. Anayan nodded. I really like you. I don't have many friends in China, can I come to talk to you often after I recover? Georgia asked. Anayan nodded, Of course I'd be very happy to. Hearing Anayan's response, Georgia was very pleased. After Anayan left, Georgia turned to Mr. Abner. Abner, I want to discuss something with you. Mom, go ahead, Mr. Abner replied. I want to recognize a younger sister for you, Georgia continued. Is it Anayan? Mr. Abner seemed to have guessed his mother's intention. Georgia nodded, yes. Georgia truly liked Anayan. Hearing that it was customary in China to recognize goddaughters, she had this idea in mind. If such a pretty girl could become her goddaughter, she would wake up laughing even in her dreams. Of course, she would need to get her son's consent before proceeding. Abner, would you mind? Georgia continued to ask. Having such an excellent sister would undoubtedly be fine for Mr. Abner. The question is whether Ni Yang would agree? Georgia replied, after I recover from my illness, I will visit Ni Yang's home personally. This sort of matter would undoubtedly require discussion with Ni Yang's family. Georgia was not the type to neglect propriety. Mr. Abner nodded. After leaving the manor, Ni Yang went to the training class. With over a month passing by, the training effect was very good, and the front-of-house staff could start working at any time. The executive chefs were also busy tasting dishes and discussing the names of the dishes. As Ni Yang's restaurant aims for a higher-end market, the names of the dishes couldn't be too plain. For example, spread your wings is the name for chicken wings slow-cooked over low heat. Gold branches and jade leaves refers to stir-fried meat with green and red peppers. Galloping across the world signifies braised pork trotter. While they were discussing the names, Ni Yang sat aside, occasionally giving some suggestions. As for the taste of the dishes, with Ni Yang's secret recipe, even a simple fried vegetable dish has its unique flavor. The chefs were very skilled, and with Ni Yang's secret recipes, the dishes would exude an incredible aroma as soon as they were served at the table. Miss Ni, could you try this and tell us how it tastes? The head chef passed the chopsticks to Ni Yang. Ni Yang stood up and took a piece of fish. The taste is good. But we need to rethink the way of plating and the portion size. Chinese people prefer hearty servings, so most dishes are very large in portion. Actually, this is least preferred in high-end restaurants. Because in scarcity lies value, too large a portion doesn't look precious. How should we change it? The head chef was a bit confused. Ni Yang lightly smiled. Have you ever had Japanese or Western cuisine? No. The head chef shook his head. After all, a Japanese meal would cost 200 to 300 yuan. How could he afford that? Ni Yang smiled and said, it's okay if you haven't tried it before. I can show you now. After saying that, Ni Yang took out a dozen photos from her bag and distributed them to the cooks present. These photos were taken while having Japanese and Western cuisine previously. Ni Yang continued, this is plating. Both Japanese and Western cuisines pay great attention to plating. A perfect dish not only tastes good but also looks good. It triggers both the appetite and the feeling of high quality. Hearing this, the chefs frowned. It sounds simple, but it's not that easy to do. That's true. Are the flowers on this Japanese dish fake? Who can make a dish look this good? Ni Yang didn't get angry, instead she picked up a radish and a kitchen knife while speaking. In no time at all, the radish in her hand had become a beautiful peony. She reduced the fish on the plate by half, then placed the carved peony on top. With a sprinkling of white radish shreds for garnish and a few mint leaves, a dish with high aesthetic value was created. The chefs were stunned. None of them had imagined that Ni Yang had such incredible knife skills. Ni Yang was really incredible. Any initial doubts vanished in an instant. If a young girl could do it, so could they, the professional chefs. Throughout the entire morning, Ni Yang was learning from the chef how to plate the dishes and how to carve vegetables. Ni Tsuehua also took little Ni Yin out onto the street. The mother and daughter pair, both good-looking, were well-dressed and caught the eye of the passers-by. A middle-aged woman lingered in front of Ni Tsuehua for a long time. Finally gathering her courage, she asked, "Are you Daya?" "Daya?" Ni Tsuehua was stunned. If she hadn't heard the nickname again, she might have forgotten that she even had such a nickname. How long had it been since anyone had called her by this nickname? Long enough that she couldn't remember. Ni Tsuehua looked up at the middle-aged woman, thought hard for a long time, but couldn't remember who she was. "Sorry, may I ask who you are?" "Daya, it's me, Danny, who grew up with you. Don't you remember me?" This woman was Zhou Danny, who had grown up with Ni Tsuehua. They were very close in the past, but after Ni Tsuehua left, Zhou Danny got married and they lost touch. Only then did Ni Tsuehua remember her childhood friend. She became so excited that her eyes welled up with tears. "Danny. Is it really you, Danny?" She remembered that Zhou Danny had a small mole in the middle of her forehead. The mole was still there. This woman was indeed Zhou Danny. Zhou Danny was also very excited. She hugged Ni Tsuehua. "Daya, I never thought we would meet here. Look at you, you're still so young and pretty. I've gotten old. Is this your daughter?" Ni Tsuehua was born beautiful. Back when she was 16 or 17, she was considered to be the beauty of the village. Later, her father fell ill and had no money for treatments. Ni Tsuehua was sold for 10 yuan. "Yes," Ni Tsuehua replied, her eyes teary. "This is my daughter Ni Yun. Yun, say hello to Auntie." To meet an old friend from childhood was truly exciting for Ni Tsuehua. "Auntie." Little Ni Yun obediently greeted. "Ni Yun?" The child shares Daya's surname? Zhou Danny was somewhat confused, but she didn't ask. Instead she extended her hand towards little N.I. Yun. Come, shall Auntie hold you? Yes. Little N.I. Yun nodded. Zhou Danny's smile was tinged with tears. This child is so good and beautiful. Dia, she looks just like you. She continued asking, Dia, where have you been all these years? Is your life good? N.I. Tsuehua sighed. It's a long story. Let's find somewhere to talk about it. Zhou Danny nodded. I live nearby, can we talk at my home? Danny, you also live in Beijing? N.I. Tsuehua expressed surprise. Zhou Danny embarrassingly confessed, Dia, I'm not afraid you'll laugh, my husband is doing some peddling, he's a self-employed business owner. We're renting on Witter Street. Self-employed business owner was deemed as the least possible way of making a living in that era. N.I. Tsuehua responded, what's there to laugh at? My daughter is also a self-employed business owner, in a way we are in the same line of work. Zhou Danny was surprised. Your daughter, she is 3 years old, right? N.I. Tsuehua laughed as she explained, I'm referring to my eldest daughter N.I. Yang, she's already 18 this year, and this is my youngest daughter. Oh, I see. They walked and chatted. Soon they arrived at Zhou Danny's home. Zhou Danny also rented an apartment in a Sihiyuan. The house was tidy. As it was during the summer vacation, all her kids were home. Dashuan, Ershuan, Sanshuan, Xiaoshuan, come here, come. For children all ran over. Zhou Danny continued, this is your Dia auntie, she grew up with me, greet her. Hello auntie. N.I. Tsuehua was surprised. Danny, are these all your children? Zhou Danny nodded and went on, this is Dashuan, he's 16 this year, this is Ershuan, now 15 years old, this is Sanshuan, he's 14 this year, and this is Xiaoshuang, she's 8 this year. Dashuan to Sanshuan were all boys, Xiaoshuang was a girl. N.I. Tsuehua said admiringly, that's wonderful. If her children hadn't been abandoned, her second child would also be 17 now, the third 15, the fourth 12. Chapter 585. Old friends meet, 12 more updates. _1 I don't know if he'll ever see those 3 poor children again in this life. Zhou Danny laughed. What's so great? It's usually very troublesome. I have to buy everything in 4 portions. If someone gets more or less, they will quarrel and say it's unfair, and they often fight. Having many children brings many troubles, but most of these troubles are happy ones. Zhou Danny continued, now I'm going to go inside and chat with your Aunt Dia. Are you guys okay with taking care of your little sister Yun Yun? Sure. Little N.I. Yun is very cute and everyone likes her very much. Watching N.I. Yun go with the children, Zhou Danny continued, you can trust them with Yun Yun. Let's go inside to chat. Okay. N.I. Tsuehua nodded and followed Zhou Danny into the house. Zhou Danny's husband may be running a small business, but after all, there are 4 children to feed in the house. Plus, the business is not particularly good. The money he earns is barely enough. Their lives are very ordinary and are the type that can only afford meat during the holidays. But to Zhou Danny, N.I. Tsuehua is a guest of honor. After making N.I. Tsuehua sit down, Zhou Danny walked into the house saying, Dia, wait for me. I'm going to get you a treat. After a while, Zhou Danny came out with a fresh tangerine and handed it to N.I. Tsuehua. N.I. Tsuehua knew that this must be the most precious thing in Zhou Danny's house and quickly declined, Danny, we're like sisters, so you don't need to be so kind to me. Save this tangerine for the children. You eat. We have plenty at home. Dia. You'll be too formal if you don't eat it. Zhou Danny peeled the tangerine and put it back into N.I. Tsuehua's hand. N.I. Tsuehua was deeply moved and stuffed half of the tangerine into Zhou Danny's hands, saying, you also eat. Zhou Danny nodded, okay, let's eat together. The two chatted as they ate. N.I. Tsuehua told Zhou Danny about her past, and Zhou Danny listened with sighs. Dia, your life has been too hard. How could your father bear to sell you to such a family? N.I. Tsuehua responded with a bitter smile, it's all in the past. Zhou Danny sighed, the past is indeed past, but the hardships you endured were real. And those 3 poor children. She never expected that N.I. Tsuehua had led such a hellish life. N.I. Tsuehua with swollen eyes said, the ones I owe the most are those 3 children. Zhou Danny walked over and patted N.I. Tsuehua's back, comforting, actually for them it's kind of a blessing in disguise. If they continued to stay in the Mu family, who knows how that old lady would have abused them. Maybe by now they have been taken by kind people and are leading a good life. Hopefully, N.I. Tsuehua continued, I have been talking about me all this time. What about you, Danny? How have you been these years? Compared to N.I. Tsuehua, Zhou Danny's life has been quite good over these years. Her husband is an honest man who only knows how to work and earn money. She's the one in charge at home. 3 years ago they followed their fellow villagers to Beijing and started a small business there, successfully settling down in Beijing. Although they don't earn much money and their life is tight, it's at least happy because their family is together. The two chatted for a long time and before they knew it, it was evening. Zhou Danny's husband returned after closing his stall. Zhou Danny introduced Enai Tsuehua. Old Zhao, this is Dai I often talk to you about. We grew up in the same village. Old Zhao, a man who looked very honest from his face, greeted Enai Tsuehua. Enai Tsuehua nodded. Hello, brother-in-law. Zhou Danny is 2 months older than her, so it's appropriate to call him brother-in-law. Old Zhao looked at Zhou Danny. Well, since we have guests today, he'll go to buy some groceries now. Go ahead. Zhou Danny added, remember to buy 2 pounds of pork. Hearing about pork, the children playing outside cheered. We will have meat tonight. We will have meat for dinner tonight. Okay. Even if old Zhao doesn't normally indulge in food and drink, he won't be short of a few yuan for meat with guests in the house. You won't neglect the guests. Enai Tsuehua hurriedly said, Danny, don't go to so much trouble. I want stay for dinner. It's obvious that Zhou Danny's family's financial condition is not very good, and Enai Tsuehua didn't want them to make unnecessary expenses. Of course I'm here. Zhou Danny said, we only see each other once in so many years. How could you not be here for dinner? If you're not here for dinner, I'm not letting you return tonight. Besides, just look at how happy those little rascals were when they heard there was meat to eat. They'll surely be heartbroken if you don't eat here. Helpless, Enai Tsuehua had to agree and said, then let me tell my eldest daughter first so she doesn't worry about me being missing later. Great, let her come over to dine together too. Enai Tsuehua went to the door of the training class and waited for about 10 minutes before she saw Enai Yang coming out. Yang. Enai Tsuehua ran over. Mom? Enai Yang asked in confusion. Why are you alone? Where's Yun? Enai Tsuehua relayed the incident of meeting Zhou Danny to Enai Yang. Enai Yang was also delighted that Enai Tsuehua encountered a childhood friend in Beijing. She smiled and said, Mom, let's get something to take with us. How many kids does Aunt Danny have? 4. Enai Tsuehua replied. Enai Yang nodded. There's a shop over there, let's go to the shop first. Enai Yang bought malted milk, candies, beef granules, biscuits, some fruits and 2 bottles of liquor, spending over 50 yuan in total. When they arrived at Zhou Danny's home, it was already getting dark. All the children had gathered in the living room. Old Zhao was cooking in the kitchen. Zhou Danny and the children immediately came out to greet them. Enai Tsuehua handed the bags of gifts to Zhou Danny and the children. These are all goodies for the kids. Zhou Danny chided, Dia, why did you buy so many things? After all these years of friendship, why waste money? Everyone's living conditions aren't easy, and Enai Tsuehua bringing so many things made Zhou Danny feel slightly embarrassed. Enai Tsuehua laughed and said, I didn't buy much, they just look nice. Speaking of Danny, this is my eldest daughter Enai Yang. Yang, this is your Aunt Danny. Enai Yang politely greeted, Hello Aunt Danny. Only then did Zhou Danny get a clear look at Enai Yang by Enai Kuihua's side. She was surprised and said, Dia, your daughter is too beautiful. She's like drawn on a picture. Zhou Danny had seen quite a lot of people over the years, but she had never seen someone as beautiful as Enai Yang. Not only was the girl beautiful, but she also had a unique charisma. No wonder she managed to get Enai Tsuehua out of Dam Village. Enai Tsuehua laughed and said, This girl can't take compliments. If you keep praising her like this, I'm sure she will become overly proud. Zhou Danny responded, I'm not just flattering, my niece really is beautiful. Alright, let's not just stand here, let's go inside and sit. They all went inside. Old Zhao had already set the meal on the table, and the dinner was very rich, with both fish and meat. Enai Tsuehua introduced old Zhao to Enai Yang. Enai Yang politely greeted, Hello Uncle Zhao. Zhou Danny has educated her children well. Although they had not eaten meat for a long time, after each of them had taken a piece, they did not take any more, preventing any chaos over food. On the other hand, Zhou Danny kept serving meat to Enai Yang and Enai Tsuehua. Dia, you and Yang eat the meat. Treat this place as your own home, don't be polite. Unable to refuse, Enai Yang ate 2 large pieces of fat meat. She was unable to eat the last piece, but she still gulped it down with discomfort. After dinner, she quickly took her bowl to the kitchen, fearing that Zhou Danny would serve her more meat. Zhou Danny was a bit worried that Enai Yang did not eat enough. Yang, how come you've eaten so little? There's still plenty of rice in the pot. Don't worry about saving food for me, it's not a famine era now. Enai Yang smiled faintly, I'm full Aunt Danny. Zhou Danny was somewhat skeptical. Can you be full with just that? Is it because the food Uncle Zhao cooked isn't good? And I Yang continued, Uncle Zhao's cooking is delicious, Aunt Danny, I'm truly full. And I Tsuehua chimed in from the side, Danny, you don't need to worry about her. This girl has always had a small appetite, always like feeding a mina bird. Only then did Zhou Danny feel relieved. Chapter 586. Guidance, 13 more updates. _1 After dinner, Zhou Danny and her husband, Lao Zhao, walked Nai Tsuehua and her daughter Nai Yang, carrying little Nai Yun to the tram station. Nai Yang was holding little Nai Yun in her arms. Nai Tsuehua tightly held Zhou Danny's hand. Danny, whenever you have time, you need to come over with your brother-in-law and the children. You can take the number 9 tram and get off at Jinghua village. Give us a call when you're on your way and he'll meet you at the village entrance. Zhou Danny nodded. We're a bit occupied at the moment, but we're definitely coming as soon as we get some free time. They'll be waiting at home for you all. Nai Tsuehua reluctantly boarded the tram. As they watched the tram slowly disappear into the night, Zhou Danny turned to Lao Zhao. How did we do in business today? Lao Zhao sighed, not too good. Since the people of Beijing like eating steamed buns, that's what we've been selling all these years. When they first started, business was good. But things went downhill recently, and it got to a point where they couldn't even sell steamed buns worth 1 yuan a day. They also had to pay 10 yuan every month as rent. Zhou Danny expressed her worry as well. What can we do? We have to pay the rent soon and the kids need to go to school too. There are so many places we need to spend money. Lao Zhao said, don't rush. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Zhou Danny suggested, do you think the problem lies with the market? What if you change your selling stall's location tomorrow? Lao Zhao nodded in agreement. The couple returned home with their faces full of worry. As soon as they got home, Xiaoshuang rushed over, grabbing their hands. Mom and Dad, come and see. Aunt Daya and Sister Nai Yang brought over a lot of good stuff today. Given it was dark out, Zhou Danny didn't really have a chance to see how much stuff Nai Tsuehua and Nai Yang had brought. Only now she realized that they had indeed brought a lot of nice things. There was malted milk and small chunks of beef. The candies and biscuits had already been opened by the kids. Zhou Danny also found 2 bottles of liquor. Even when their family visited relatives for New Year, they could not afford to buy so many things. Zhou Danny said, Daya must have spent a lot today. She was too kind. Lao Zhao stared at the 2 bottles of liquor for a while before finally saying, we should consider exchanging these 2 bottles of liquor for some money at the shop tomorrow. They're worth 35 yuan. We don't need a big profit. 30 yuan should be enough to pay the school fees and the rent. Even though this was slightly inappropriate, they had no other alternatives. If they didn't sell the liquor, their family of 6 would end up on the streets with the kids unable to afford school. Zhou Danny was silent for a moment, then nodded, all right. When we have money, we must thank Daya and her family properly. Lao Zhao nodded, definitely. The next day, Zhou Danny went to the shop and exchanged the 2 bottles of liquor for 30 yuan. The regular selling price for these 2 bottles of liquor was 35 yuan. The shopkeeper was more than happy to make this deal for 30 yuan. They were relieved to finally have the money for the school fees and rent. Zhou Danny let out a sigh of relief. After hearing Zhou Danny's idea, Lao Zhao changed his selling spot today, continuing to sell from his stall. As it was the inaugural day of the restaurant at 11:30 a.m., Nai Yang arrived at the city market. She bought cigarettes, liquor and prepared dishes, ready to treat everyone to a good meal. She bought various meat dishes including braised beef, pig's head meat and tiger skin chicken feet. People were in dire need of some decent nourishment at this point. Even if they ate a lot of meat, they wouldn't feel greasy. Moreover, they were all performing manual labor and needed to restore their energy. After buying the dishes, all she needed were the staple foods. Just then Nai Yang spotted a vendor selling steamed buns. Beijing people generally prefer wheat food, so Nai Yang steered her cart over and ordered, vendor, could I get 50 steamed buns please? There were 18 workers in the restaurant. A grown man could easily eat 2 to 3 steamed buns, so 50 steamed buns was really not that many. 50 steamed buns. The old Zhao, who had been originally hunched over eating his steamed bun, perked up upon hearing those words. He quickly put down the bun and picked up a bag. All right, please wait a moment. Nai Yang clearly saw old Zhao at this point and exclaimed, Uncle Zhao. Old Zhao also looked surprised. Yang. Nai Yang chuckled and said, Uncle Zhao, so you've been selling steamed buns here? Old Zhao nodded. Yes, but Yang, are you sure you can finish off all these buns? They'll go bad if you don't finish them quickly in this weather. Nai Yang assured him, don't worry, we have more than a dozen people for dinner. Only then old Zhao was relieved. He swiftly packed up 50 buns and handed them to Ai Yang. At this point, one could buy 4 buns for 1 cent, and Ai Yang had occasionally bought them before, so she was familiar with the price. She took the steamed buns and handed 1 yuan and 3 cents to old Zhao. However, old Zhao refused to take the money. Ai Tsuehua and her daughter Ai Yang were so polite. If it wasn't for the gifts they brought, sending the children to school next month would have been a problem. If he were to insist on taking the money for a few steamed buns, it would be utterly heartless. Uncle Zhao, you are running a business, how could you not accept money? If you refuse to accept the money, then I can't accept these buns. Saying this, Ai Yang put down the buns. She knew that old Zhao's family had it hard, so she insisted on paying him. Old Zhao said, Yang, both you and your mother are so nice. You brought so many things to our house yesterday. These are just a few homemade buns, they're really not worth much. Unless you think these buns of mine aren't worth the money. Ai Yang said, Uncle Zhao, we have to be fair. If you want accept the money, I'll go to the shop next door. After much persuasion, old Zhao finally accepted the money reluctantly. Ai Yang noticed a half-eaten bun on the basket and a flask next to it. Uncle Zhao, are you only eating buns for lunch? Old Zhao chuckled, yes, it's far from home and I don't feel like going back for lunch, so I appease my hunger with some buns. They're good, sweet and soft. It's a much better time now. During the Great Famine, who could afford such fine white flour buns? In reality, old Zhao was eating the buns left unsold from a few days ago. They were dry and hard with no taste at all. Uncle Zhao, have this with your bun. Ai Yang handed old Zhao a wax paper bag. Am I right eating the buns? I don't need that. Old Zhao quickly declined. Please take it, I bought too much anyway, it will be a waste if I don't finish it. Having said that, Ai Yang continued, also, Uncle Zhao, are there lots of buns left over each day? Old Zhao sighed, business has been slow recently, there are leftovers every day. So, the next day's leftovers are not that easy to sell? Ai Yang asked. Yes. Old Zhao nodded, the leftover buns from the day before aren't as good, so we usually keep them for ourselves. Ai Yang picked up the bun that old Zhao had eaten half of. The stale bun wasn't as fluffy as freshly made ones. They were dry, exaggerating a bit, they were like bricks. Ai Yang continued, Uncle Zhao, actually you could slice these leftover buns, fry them until golden brown on both sides, then sprinkle some black pepper or spread some ketchup on them. Those who love salty and spicy food can add black pepper. Those who like sweet and sour can go for ketchup. Then, sell them in front of the school during dismissal time. They should sell well. The leftover buns, if preserved properly, don't harm health. They're just not as delicious as fresh ones. But when fried till crispy, they won't be affected at all, and will even taste wonderfully crispy. They would be well received by young people. Old Zhao seemed skeptical, will that really work? Ai Yang laughed, I think you can give it a try. Old Zhao continued, what is ketchup? Ai Yang explained, ketchup is tomato sauce. Old Zhao was curious, can tomatoes be made into a sauce? Tomato sauce is actually invented by Chinese people. But, originally, it was not made of tomatoes but a pure fish sauce made from miscellaneous fish. The pure fish sauce had a mild salty taste with a unique flavor, and later when our ancestors found the taste a bit monotonous, they added beans to it, creating a low-grade soybean paste, which was very popular at that time. Likewise, during the Ming Dynasty, pure fish sauce became popular in the south and was named brine. The dialectic pronunciation at that time was kutsayap. Later on, brine was introduced overseas. This Chinese-style brine sauce became extremely popular, spreading rapidly worldwide, and was modified by foreigners into American-style tomato sauce. So, the globally popular American-style tomato sauce is not America's tomato sauce, but China's kutsayap brine. During the 1980s, when KFC and McDonald's were still not introduced to China, Chinese people did not really like tomato sauce. In fact, some people did not even know what tomato sauce was. Ai Yang nodded and said, of course tomatoes can be made into sauce. I'll write down the recipe for you, you can try it at home. With that, Ai Yang pulled out a pen and a small notebook from her pocket. Chapter 587, Pre-Opening Celebration, Update 14:1 She wrote the steps for making tomato sauce, stroke by stroke, very seriously. In no time she had written half a page. When she finished writing, she tore the paper from the notebook and handed it to Mr. Zhao, saying, Uncle Zhao, you can go home and follow these steps to make tomato sauce. Okay. Mr. Zhao took the note and casually put it in his pocket. After Ai Yang left, Mr. Zhao resumed selling steamed buns. When Ai Yang arrived at the restaurant, everyone was cleaning. The place had a pure vintage decor. Even the ornate frames of the ceiling lights were crafted in traditional style. Wooden screens separated the tables, and the carvings on them depicted Tang poems and Song dynasty lyrics, radiating an elegant aura. Even doing nothing in such an environment would make one feel relaxed and joyful. Yang Yang is here. This is the sample clothes delivered by the clothing factory this morning, said Wang Tiniu, handing over a small bag. Yang put the large and small bags of food she had on the table, surprised. They arrived so quickly? Having adopted a vintage theme, even the waitstaff's uniforms were designed by her, reflecting Han cultural elements. The men's were black and the women's were red. Yang had just taken out the clothes when Wang Tiniu remarked, "Isn't this a historical costume? It's so beautiful, I've also seen it on TV." Yang laughed and clarified, "This isn't a historical costume. It's Hanfu, the traditional clothing of the Han people, which originated from the Yellow Emperor and thrived during the reigns of Yao and Shun." "Oh." Wang Tiniu nodded, seemingly understanding. Yang put the clothes back and continued, "Uncle Tiniu, has everyone finished their tasks? We can have dinner once everyone is done. He'll go call them." Yang nodded, starting to tidy up the table. By the time everyone had come downstairs, the large round table was already full of dishes, or to be precise, full of meat. A pack of cigarettes was placed on each seat, and 3 crates of beer were placed on the side of the table, with baijiu displayed on top of the beer. Eating meat and drinking heavily, what a blissful life. Yang called everyone to sit down. "Everyone has worked hard recently, tonight everyone must drink to your heart's content." "It's not hard at all. Yang, you're too kind. You must have spent a lot on these cigarettes and alcohol, right?" They had never been treated this well anywhere they had worked. Nowadays, if a typical family could provide lunch every day, it was considered very good. But Yang not only provides lunch every day, she ensures meat is available in every meal. Working for her, everyone was full of energy and did not allow themselves to make any mistakes. Even if there were minor defects in their work, they would redo it. That's why the restaurant was so beautifully decorated. Yang laughed, "It didn't cost much. Uncles, please sit down." Under the warm invitation of Yang, everyone finally sat down. Though Yang could drink alcohol, she was only 18 and wanted to take care of her health, so she toasted everybody with tea instead of alcohol. Everyone enjoyed this meal immensely. The day passed quickly. Though Mr. Zhao changed his stall today, business was still not very good. Including the 50 steamed buns Yang bought, he only sold 100 steamed buns in total and had over 100 left unsold. As soon as he returned home, Zhou Danny come forward and asked, "How was business today?" "Not very good." Mr. Zhao handed all the money he had earned from selling steamed buns that day to Zhou Danny. Zhou Danny took the money and exclaimed in surprise, "You earned all this today?" Mr. Zhao nodded. "There's 2 yuan and 5 jiao. That's impressive. A caddy of flour costs 5 cents. A caddy of flour can be made into 10 steamed buns. 2 caddies of flour can be made into 20. There isn't much overhead, so if you can earn 2 yuan and 5 jiao every day, you could earn 75 yuan in a month. That's 900 yuan a year, so there's no need to worry about the children's schooling and rent anymore." Mr. Zhao added, "Another 1 yuan and 5 jiao is from Yang, who bought 50 steamed buns all at once." "Yang?" Mr. Zhao nodded and took out a paper bag from the stall. "This is what Yang gave to me to eat at noon. You warm it up and let the children have a taste." He could eat less meat, after all he was already old. But the children were growing, so if there was any meat he would save it for them. "What is this?" Zhou Danny looked down at it in surprise. "It's meat. Did Yang give this to you?" Mr. Zhao nodded. "Yang is a good child. Not only did she look after my business, but when she saw me eating buns without any food at noon, she gave me this." Zhou Danny sighed and said, Yang is really talented. Not only did she take Daya and her sister out, but she also managed to thrive. I wonder what good deed Daya did in her past life. If it wasn't for Yang, Tsuehua would still be stuck in Dam Village now." Old Zhao added, Yang talked about a way to make money today. I wonder if it will work." "What's the plan?" Zhou Danny asked. Old Zhao discussed the idea of grilled bun pieces with Zhou Danny. Upon hearing this, Zhou Danny said, "It should consume a lot of oil, right? They couldn't even afford to use oil for cooking. Where would they get the oil for frying bun slices? What if they grilled them and couldn't sell it? Wouldn't they have wasted the oil?" Zhou Danny continued, "We can't sell white steamed buns. How can we sell them if they're grilled? The more we fuss, the poorer we get. Let's not fuss about it." Rich households can afford the toss, poor households simply can't afford it. Old Zhao scratched his head. That's true. Maybe we should make fewer buns tonight to avoid leftovers. Yes, Zhou Danny nodded. We can't keep failing to sell the buns. Should we think of more ideas? Old Zhao sighed. The times are tough this year, but maybe things will get better next year. Let's get by the second half of this year first. Zhou Danny smiled. Yes, let's not lose heart yet. Perhaps business will pick up tomorrow? Right? Although the couple had lost faith in the future, they were still full of hope. After Anai Yang got home, she tried on the hanfu. She walked in front of Anai Tsuehua and asked, Mom, do you think this dress looks good? It's a Chi-Ru-style hanfu, unlike traditional hanfu. It has been modified so that the sleeves are narrow, and the skirt just reaches the ankles. This makes it easy to serve dishes and walk without getting caught or tripped. The top is white, the skirt and ties are red. Anai Yang, with her slender and tall stature, looked stunning in the hanfu, which perfectly accentuated her figure. The interweaving of red and white made her radiant and striking, as if she had stepped out of a classical beauty painting, captivating everyone's attention. Anai Tsuehua nodded. Beautiful. Even more beautiful than a fairy. Anai Yang happily twirled around. Really? Would your mom lie to you? Anai Tsuehua replied with a smile. Little Anai Yun excitedly clapped her hands on the side. Beautiful. Sister, beautiful. Even Duo flew to Anai Yang's side, chirping non-stop. By the way, Yang am going to the mountain. Take care of Yun at home. Anai Tsuehua picked up the basket. What are you going to do on the mountain? Anai Yang asked. Anai Tsuehua replied, It rained last night, there should be plenty of matsutake on the mountain. I'm going to pick some and we can stir-fry them for dinner. Matsutake can be stir-fried and even added to flour to make spicy strips. Spicy strips with matsutake sell better than regular ones. Wild matsutake is sold at sky-high prices in later years, but in this unpolluted era, they are everywhere and worthless. Ordinary families are too busy with farming to pick matsutake. Anai Yang nodded. All right, take care. Okay. Anai Tsuehua walked out with her basket. Just as she reached the door, she turned back. What's wrong? Anai Tsuehua said, He'll bring my English book for a read. She would read English whenever she was free. With her current level, simple communication with foreigners wouldn't be a problem. Anai Yang laughed. It's not safe to read while walking. You better not do it. You're right. Anai Tsuehua replied, I better go. Anai Yang glanced at the sky and then said, Wait a moment, Mom. What's wrong? Anai Tsuehua looked back. Anai Yang ran inside to grab an umbrella. It might rain later, take the umbrella. Anai Tsuehua laughed. How is it going to rain under such a bright sun? You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.